And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for being here tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, live on the show. And I thank y'all for that. Please hit the like button for me. Hit the like button, hit the share, do all that good stuff. You guys should know the drill if you've not already been exposed to it already. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so right now and click that bell while you're at it so you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. And I'd appreciate you if you did. There's a whole lot going on all over the internets, of course, all on mainstream media, all on television. You got Black Lives Matter getting what? 10.6 billion dollars since May of this year. Like I said in the video, Amazon had what, like 11.5 billion this year? 2019. For all of 2019, they had all that money. We'll talk about Black Lives Matter. Also, what else? Oh, a lot of these weird vaccine videos have been floating around. It's been so crazy. I mean, there's no way. Like, I'm not seeing anything that's going to convince me that it's safe to take and that it's just the thing to do. The Masketeers have been on a parade and they're acting up. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And again, I thank y'all for joining. You guys are the best audience anywhere in the world. You could be almost anywhere, but you're right here with me. I thank y'all for that. Yeah, we got a whole lot going on. The Masketeers have really been acting up. Black Lives Matter doing whatever they do. You know, I knew that Black Lives Matter got a lot of money, but 10.6 billion, that's kind of a bridge a little bit too far. I had no idea they were getting that much money, but here we are. 10.6 billion. Not surprised at all, because that's the whole objective from the very beginning. You know, you're seeing these graphics come out where they're saying, okay, it's been 30 days, 40 days since Biden got quote unquote elected. Black folks, we got him in there. We've not heard from him. You're not going to hear from him. If you're just on the ground, just a regular normie, and you in the black community, you're in Black Lives Matter, you're not going to hear from the guy. You're going to hear from representatives, people that represent you, whoever's in power, whoever's in charge, whoever controls the money. And they probably won't even be a black person. It'll probably be an organization. You probably never heard of the organization before. Some organization, some foundation, way off somewhere in California or a foreign nation. You never see them. If you out here just supporting Black Lives Matter, you are cannon fodder. Joe Biden has no reason to talk to you because you aren't the one that's even really the person to talk to. He'll talk to those that really get the money, who really, you know, are raising the funds and collecting the funds, not you. Black Lives Matter, what they do, they use people on the ground. If you want to go out there and stage a quote unquote protest or riot or whatever, they fundraise off of that. And they're not breaking you off the money. They're getting millions of dollars each of these riots and donation monies and all kind of aid. They probably even get money from local governments, like straight cash. Okay, city of X, Y, and Z, place California, giving out X amount of money to Black Lives Matter. And they put that straight in their pocket. And if you out there, you must run to get injured in a riot. You could get shot in a riot, stabbed up. So what? It's whatever. That's you working on yourself. You're not part of this whole thing we got going on here. You've not signed an agreement. You've not signed an employment contract. You're not even a 1099 employee, let alone a W-2. You're not getting a paycheck from any kind of organization, no nonprofit, not-for-profit. You have no organization. You have no company yourself, no organization yourself. So you're just going to be cannon fodder. He's not going to talk to you. He'll talk to those in charge if he has to. And quite frankly, there's no point in him talking to anybody, because BLM, they're raising all this money without having to even have any communication with Joe Biden. Okay, this is just on the street. They're doing Black Lives Matter is raising money in the wake of the election cycle and the wake of outrage. They're raising money on the back. So they could just do that and not speak to anybody. What are you really going to do? You're going to try to say that they're doing something wrong? You're just cast away as racist by the media the media, they got their hands in the pot too. They getting plenty of money too. They getting PR money. They getting a lot from this. It's a situation that benefits both parties when you're talking about the media, Black Lives Matter, and a lot of these other subversive groups that just come out here and wreak havoc. It benefits all sides of that particular aisle. The Democratic Party as well. They feel like they have a stronger hold in places where a lot of this violence is happening. A lot of fraud allegedly is happening. And that violence is kind of like ushering it on because people feel like they want to be part of the battle. They want to be part of whatever's going on. So rather than going out there picking up a billy club or a baseball bat, a pair of brass knuckles, a can of bear spray, rather than doing that, going out there getting the head bust up into the fat meat, they say, okay, I'll put some numbers in the machine and something might happen. Whatever it is, I feel like I contributed. I feel like I helped out in the whole situation. I think that's what's going on. So nah, and Kamala Harris or something else. Somebody says Kamala needs to give up that seat since they won, right? Oh, okay, just another idea that they won. Nope, they know they're busted. Yeah, see, Kamala Harris is holding on to the seat. That's just job security. If this whole sham goes through, then she'll quit. But not until then. There's no confidence that she has it. This is why the left are still trying to silence voices on the right because they know that we're still fighting, we're still in the mix, and they know there's a chance they could go the other way. If they were so confident, if it was all just a bunch of BS and it was bogus, then there would be no need to try and silence our voices. There would be no need to do anything. They could just cast it away as nonsense and move on with their day. There would be no need for Kamala Harris to still be in the Senate right now and not have given up her seat. She could just vacate it. I mean, what are you waiting on? Vacate it right now so they can have the appointment and then they have a runoff or do whatever they got to do. Why are you still in the Senate? You got elected, right? Ain't that, it's over. There's no more recourse. All right, well, you move on too. That's funny. They want to say to us, move on and it's over. Well, tell her to move on. Get out of her Senate seat. Has she left the Senate seat yet? If you guys know better than I do, please let me know in the comments. But if you want to tell us to move on, now you move on. Move on from your Senate seat. How about that? Tell hunters to move on from the crack pipe. How about that? Move on. Now you move on. Don't reflect on me. You do the right thing. How about that? That's how I feel about it. Yeah. So these people, it's all about money. 10.6 billion. And a lot of this money that they've raised is a result of the lockdown. A lot of people benefit from the lockdown. Quiet is kept. It's not as simple as what Tulsi Gabbard was saying, oh, it's just big business. It's not even like that. You have some people that like the shutdowns and like the lockdowns because they benefit directly from it. Now, some benefit from the lockdown and it's unintentional. Like if you're a YouTuber and you're popular, you probably benefited from the lockdown because you have a more captive audience. People are at home. Okay, so what is it to do? Oh, I watch YouTube. I'll catch up on the stream that I did not have time for because I was at work. Okay, so that's unintended. I don't want people to be shut down because they watch me more. I want everybody to go back to work and be productive and go back to school and, have normal lives. But see, some people want the lockdown to happen because it helps them to gain control. All right, they want the lockdown and they want the fear from this whole mask situation, from the virus situation, because it helps them to be able to get certain things passed. It can help with voting potentially. It's a tool they're using to benefit themselves. All right. That could be going on with BLM. They're using a lockdown because people are getting agitated. They're getting angry. They're getting upset. And they might say, you know what? I hate Trump supporters. I hate this. I hate that. So through their hatred, through their anger and their desire for vengeance, they want to go out there and donate to BLM. They want to go out there and be part of a BLM quote unquote rally, which ain't nothing but a protest. And they want to vent their anger and their frustration in that way. So that could be a big boon to them on top of having the election. And then, of course, you got all it could be a shooting. And, not funny, but the crazy part is that the whole thing that sparked BLM again this year in 2020 wasn't even the shooting. You're talking about a guy that just died in police custody. Oh, the knee on the neck. Then you got guys like Dave Chappelle profiting on it. I mean, Dave Chappelle is a butt-naked capitalist. This guy talking about, okay, my special is going to be called, 836 or whatever, however long the knee was on George Floyd's neck. He literally named the Netflix special after the whole George Floyd kerfuffle. And let's not forget, Dave Chappelle's not doing Netflix for free. It's not like a guy on YouTube like me. If I put out something about George Floyd, okay, I'm covering a news story. He got paid like what, 20 million to do some Netflix specials, to produce Netflix content. So you're getting paid 20 million. You know it's going to be a big thing people watch. You're Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle understands his power. He's telling people to boycott his own show because it's not licensed properly. This guy's not about, trying to be your best friend. He's trying to get money. That's what it is. That's what it seems like to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I see. 840. Okay, that's what it is. 846. Yeah. I'm talking about big money raised off of that. Black Lives Matter making money. The comedians making money. The late night hosts making the money. Everybody's cashing on this whole thing. Okay? And it's really a shame. And they're keeping the whole thing up. And then, you know what? They don't care about the damage they're doing to society as a result. They don't care that people are really being, indoctrinated by, they really believe in what they're saying on television and these Netflix specials and stuff like that. And social media, they really believe it and they internalize it. And you got kids out here watching this, so they grow up to really have that in their mind and in their spirit. And you wonder why you got an 18-year-old out here screeching at the sky when, a thing goes wrong. It's because they've been raised to do that. They've been brainwashed, indoctrinated from a very young age to do that from a variety of angles. The parents, the friends, teachers, entertainment, general politics, everywhere. It's all around them. Imagine being a kid growing up belly of the beast, liberalism, like San Francisco or San Mateo, whatever them little sands are out there in the Bay Area. You know what I'm talking about, the little sand area. All them sands right there, you growing up right there, right in the middle of it. It's hard to escape it. So there's no wonder that that person who grows up that way finds himself at 19 years old in Seattle, Washington, banging needles and screaming Black Lives Matter. There's another autonomous zone that they brought up. I think it's in Seattle or Portland. Same thing. I can't tell the difference. If you show me a picture of Seattle and a picture of Portland, if you don't have the Space Needle and the picture of Seattle, I'm not going to know the difference. It's all the same. The left coast cities with all the homelessness, which ain't nothing but drug addicts, just everywhere. I was totally appalled the first time I saw it. I saw Skid Row. I didn't even know what that was when I saw it. I was young when I first saw it. I thought it was just, people that are homeless or whatever. But 90 to 95 to 100% people that's out there are on some kind of drugs. That's just what it is. When I was a kid, the most I would see out there in Virginia is the occasional drunk guy on the street. I wouldn't see people just openly using heroin on the street. I never saw that before in my life. And then now you see stuff like that all the time on the left coast. A little bit in New York now, too, because you got de Blasio in there and things are starting to go back to how they were during the 70s. People told me that L.A. is like New York in the 80s. And I think I believe them. I was in L.A. earlier this year. I didn't like it. I wanted to leave immediately. Beyond it being cold and rainy, people were rude. It seemed kind of filthy. And I was kind of like close to the airport. And I went a little bit like Inglewood, all of that. But I imagine if I was to go like all the way into the heart of it, downtown, you're talking about catching bed bugs walking outside. You walking outside on the street catching bed bugs. You know it's bad when you got that going on. I'm not in a hotel room. I'm just outside walking, and I got bed bugs hopping in my beanie. I'm not really a fan of that too tough. So this is what happens to society. Society breaks down when kids from a young age are poisoned mentally, and people are doing this right now in the name of Black Lives Matter. I think they're doing the right thing. The people that are out there just at the so-called protests and rallies, they think they're doing the right thing, but they don't understand what the long-term impact of what they're doing is going to be in the true sense. They think they're making change. It's going to be great forward progress, true progressiveness, but that's not what's going on, not in the least bit. Not at all. Kathleen says, when I was a kid in the Midwest and East, I never seen such homeless people. Yeah, I've never seen that really before. The most I would see is the occasional drunk guy on the corner asking for $1 or something like that. And I grew up in an urban area. It wasn't like, podunk nowhere. My city was like 100,000, and the metro area, which is like, 7 cities is all close to, it's all basically one city. It's continuous. That's like, what, about 1.5 million, I think, between 1 and 1.5, something like that. It's not a small area. At least about 1 million. It's a pretty decent sized city. And right on the interstate, right on the East Coast, 64, 95, all of that's right there. So I never saw what I'm seeing right now on the left coast. Okay, I was in Dallas recently. I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any. You see the occasional homeless guy, but you're not going to see big tent cities. And Dallas is pretty big. It's a big city. But I did not see any of that foolishness. You don't even see that. You don't see that much in Atlanta. People are out there begging and homeless in Atlanta, but not just camps, people on drugs. You don't even see that. And Atlanta is a whole different. Atlanta is large parts of Atlanta are pure ghetto, but you still don't see the LA stuff out there. But thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoyed what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up on the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And also subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and click the bell so you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. This particular video, the entire show will be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms. Every Monday, I'll have the Saturday show up, and every Friday, I'll have the Wednesday show up. And you can find me on your favorite, it doesn't matter, Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. through the link in the box. You can also search for me on those particular platforms using the search term ABL Live. I'll pop right on up. All right. So thank y'all again. But we got a whole lot happening. And shout out to all super chatters already. Let me see. Oh, we got to talk about the crazy mask videos. No. Not matter of fact, let's do mask videos first. Mask videos first. I'm gonna show you one video. Now people saying, "Oh, that's staged ABL." Well, okay. Before I even get to the video, people saying that the video was staged. Now the question is, what does staged mean? Does it mean that the video was set up to be recorded on purpose? Or does it mean that it was set up to be recorded on purpose and what is shown in the video did not happen? It's two different things. Because the video could have been staged as far as, okay, we're going to set it up. It's going to appear to be some kind of like peeping Tom type thing. That I'm not supposed to be here. I'm a nobody. But it's a TikToker or somebody recording. And it's a well-known, quote-unquote, adult star. So you already know where I'm going. A female by the name of Maya. You guys know what I'm talking about, so let's not put the name in the chat because we got little babies watching. But in the video, matter of fact, I can show you better than I can tell you. But the point is it fake? Is the action in the video fake or is the action real? The person in the video said, "Nah, it's real." The person that recorded it is a big-time TikToker, but what was going on in the video was real. All right, so let's check it out. This is going to be on my Instagram page, instagram.com/Anthony B. Logan. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN. And that is on Instagram. Okay, hold on. Let me just get it together here. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm going to show it. If you've not seen it, be prepared. If you got a bad stomach, I'm talking so much because I want to warn you before I show it. All right, I'm going to warn you before I show it. All right. So let's do it here. There's no sound on the video, but I am going to show it on the screen. All right. So she's walking the dog, takes the mask off, and scoops the doo-doo of the dog with the mask, throws it away, takes the mask and puts it back on her face. So let's run it back. Okay, the dog does his business, she takes her mask off, picks the dog's doo-doo up. There's a trash can right there. She puts it in the trash can, and she puts that same mask she used to scoop the dog's doo-doo up with to put it back on her face. This is on camera. All right. So, and people are saying, "Oh, it's fake." Well, the dog did kick his legs right before she picks whatever up. And I'm looking at it and I'm seeing something in the center of the mask. That's right where her nose mouth is going to be. Okay. So you be the judge. Again, if you want to see it, on your own time, if you want to, like have the close up, put it right in front of your face. It's on my Instagram page right now, Instagram.com/Anthony B. Logan. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. Look into it yourself. Now, is that real? It looks real to me. People said it's staged, but okay, again, what does staged mean? Maybe she knows she's being recorded. Maybe this was all set up. But did the dog doo-doo or not? Did she pick the doo-doo up with her mask that was on her face, dump the doo-doo, and then put the mask back on her face? You tell me what's going on. And I warned you, didn't I? I said, hey, I'm talking a lot right now because I'm warning you about the video. So if you squeamish, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Blame the white man. But I did warn you. So, and you know what? The young lady, Miami or whatever, and you guys know what I'm talking about, she said on the Instagram that, no, it's real. Like she actually did do that. And then she said, wear a mask. So the whole thing could have been staged as a publicity stunt, number one. But number two, to promote mask wearing. But was the doo-doo real? Looks real to me. So, I mean, you know what? Check it out. That's not even so abnormal. You understand what I'm saying? Because there have been cases, people like they have their mask falls on the ground, falls on the floor, and they put it right back on their face. There's cases people have the same mask and never wash it ever. They wear the mask all day, every day, and never wash it. They got the same mask since the beginning of the pandemic. If you wear the same mask every day and you're never washing it, that mask is completely filthy. You're damaging yourself more by wearing that mask than not having the mask on. You might as well just not wear the mask at that particular point in time. I've also seen cases of people putting their mask into their shoes, like ballet dancers. They put the mask into their ballet shoes, and then they put the mask back on their face. And you know what? There was one guy I saw at the beginning of this pandemic. He had a basketball shoe on his face, tied with shoelaces as a mask. I'm like, man, you know what? I laughed at you back then, but now I'm like, yo, you're a genius. Rather than putting your mask in your shoes for storage, you just skipping the whole mask part. You just got the whole shoe on your face. If you're going to put the mask in the shoe and then take the mask out of the shoe and put it on your face, how about you just put the shoe on your face? Skip the middleman, get straight to the meat and potatoes, right? So these Masketeers are crazy. There was another guy that was freaking out in the, what was that, the Hobby Lobby? He was freaking out. Put your effing mask on. This dude was screaming at a lady. I'm talking about top of his lungs, triggered over the mask. Man. Okay, one more time for the road, and then I ain't gonna show it no more. If you scream it ain't my fault. One more time for the road on one of you right now. I'm showing it. Doo-doo on the ground, throws doo-doo away, and then, hey, anybody watching? Let me put this mask back on my face. Right over my face. Bam. Okay, I ain't gonna show it no more, I promise. I ain't gonna show it no more. But that's what we got going on right now. So yeah, these and a person like that would be the first one to tell you to put your mask on. It's like, well, how about this? Take your mask off because you got some things on there that shouldn't be on there, and you're doing some damage to yourself. So you might want to get that checked out. How about that? I'm trying to find the picture of the guy with the shoe on his face. I know I got it on my Instagram somewhere. That's one of the first ones I saw. A lady had a party hat, like here it's like a birthday, like a little cone hat. She had that over her face. My favorite one was a young lady that had hold on, I can't play the sound on this because it's gonna give me copyright strike. But my favorite one was a person that had the bag over their face. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Are you seeing this? All right, so this person is in one of these little shopping carts that's like motorized, I guess. And they got a mask like, okay, I'm gonna just slow down a little bit. They have shopping bags over the handle of the sit down cart. All right, that's first. Now I'm not seeing plastic bags on the seat and with the person's shorts and legs touching the plastic of the actual thing, but that's a different story. Anyway, they appear to have gloves on, plastic gloves, and on their head, they have a plastic bag. It's like, sir, ma'am, Sam, whatever you want to, whatever your gender identity pronoun is, how can you breathe? How can you breathe? And the reason why I'm not playing the audio is because I put the soundtrack. I put the soundtrack there, and the song is called "No Air" by Jordan Sparks and Chris Brown. And you can see some of the lyrics right there on the screen. How I'm supposed to breathe with no air? Can't live, can't breathe with no air. But that's what's going on. But see, that right there, that was a while ago. That was like right when the whole thing first popped, almost a year ago at this particular point in time. But we're still doing crazy things right now in December. We have a resurgence of crazy things that are going on right now. People are just so crazy with this mask hysteria. Yeah, but, and I see that all the time. Just walking around, I see the craziest things. Oh, and I see funny guys wearing masks as like kind of a, just kind of their own little silent protest. I was in Georgia. I was on the way to Atlanta, right? And I stopped probably like about 45 minutes out from Atlanta. And I went to this store. I went inside the store and I went to the bathroom. It was a white guy that had a Crown Royal bag over his face as a mask. I had to be like, I gave him a thumbs up. I was like, yo, that's a mask right there. I like that one. Okay. The velvet mask ain't nothing but genius. Matter of fact, and I found the shoe mask. Let's put it on the screen right quick. Okay, so y'all just pay attention. He's going to zoom in, and he has a whole basketball shoe on his face, tied with shoelaces. Yes, he does. I mean, again, this is back in March, right when the virus first popped. I guess the guy's like, look, man, I can't have access. I don't have access to one of these little masks everybody has. All I got right now on the closet is some old Harachis or whatever he has on his face. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my face right now, and that'll pretty much just do it. but they appear to be pretty clean, so at least he didn't go out there and play 4-on-4, 5-on-5, full court. When it's 100 degrees outside, sweating bullets in the shoes. You've been out there dunking and shooting fadeaway 3-pointers, and you put that on your face. So it might be one of them shoes you had just collecting, one of them stock X type situations. Put it on his face, goes to the bodega or wherever he is to get his goodies, and he's good to go. All right. So this mask hysteria has been raging for a very long time. It's been for a while, and it ain't doing nothing. It's doing nothing for you. Even Anthony Fauci himself came out and said, "Hey, the mask, it might block a droplet or two, but it's not really going to help." He said that from the jump, and then he changed his mind later. It's like, okay, you changing your mind now. Like, why did you say that it wasn't going to help you back then, but now all of a sudden it is? Which one is it? Give me a straight answer, Mr. Fauci. Quote unquote, America's doctor. How about you get your story right, and then tell me something. Don't tell me nothing else until then. All right. So that's what that is. But thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up on the video. Share the video. Do all that good stuff. Oh, here was another one that I had from earlier this year. Now, matter of fact, okay, perfect. I got the treasure trove. I got 2 videos I want to show you. I want to show you a video. I'm going to play it of a guy eating while wearing a mask. And the other one is going to be Fauci. Matter of fact, let's go Fauci first.
Be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle...
Hold on.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course, of course. But when you think masks, you should think of healthcare providers needing them and people who are ill. Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course, of course. But when you think masks, you should think of healthcare providers needing them and people who are ill. Right now.
So the question is, what changed? So that was earlier this year. That was earlier this year, 2020. This is not 40 years ago, 100 years. Like, what's changed in this year, sir? Why did you say that earlier this year, right when the virus first popped back in like March or April? But now all of a sudden, oh, you got to wear a mask all the time. What happened? You're not wearing the mask. I saw you at the Royals game when you did that wild pitch off to, BFE. You sat down in the stands right next to your friend and your wife with your mask down on your chin. So what's up? I mean, come on. Like, stop with the games. All right. And here is the guy trying to eat his food. Fam, what are you thinking? I'm seeing smuts right on your mask. Oh, I'm seeing it. You stuff dropping. This is nasty. I mean, it's got to be a joke. You know what? If this were like, a few years ago, even this is 2019. If this were December of 2019, I'd be like, you know what? This is ridiculous. This has got to be some kind of joke, some kind of weird thing they put on the internet. Something that we're not really supposed to be seeing. Somebody's hard drive that got discovered. But nah, they're dead serious. I believe they're dead serious. I don't know what that man is eating. Some mashed potatoes and some green beans and some Salisbury steak that's dry as a bone. I'm not really sure why that's even. And then why is it like why are you controlling it with like your hand? Like the open, like. If the mask is open, it has a slit in it. First of all, you just totally ruining the whole purpose of the mask. All right. That's not going to, if you open it in your mouth and you put in food in it, you may have some spray that comes out. I saw the spray come out. He had food that came out of his mouth and fell. So if you got food entering your mouth and falling out of your mouth, that's droplets right there. So you wasting, this makes no sense to even do. I guess the whole point is what they're trying to say. Oh, when you eating, you gotta wear a mask. So you put a mask down and then take a bite and then eat. It's dumb. That's the whole point right here, but it's really kind of silly. Okay. Really just pretty silly. But let me go back to what's going on here today. All right. Oh, there was another video I saw from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now, I had that story right when it first happened, but people that I know her. Because I'm gonna explain what's going on. I'm not gonna show it because I was told that that's not really what it was, and I trust those that told me. Maybe they're wrong, but I trust them. But anyway, I'm gonna explain what's happening. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you the video anyway. So the video appears like the nurse faints because she got the vaccine, but that's not necessarily what it is. It looks like that for sure, but that's not what it is from what I've been told. But again, I could be wrong. So here's a video.
Woke up this morning. Did you know you were going to be receiving the vaccine?
So context, she had just gotten the vaccine right before this. It was part of a news conference. They're doing a whole public thing. You get a vaccine on camera. So she did that whole thing out in Chattanooga, it's a CHR Memorial. And after she got the vaccine, she did like a little press conference, answered some questions.
I did, yes. So, all of my staff, we are...
Sorry for the low volume, it's not my fault.
Excited to get the vaccine. We are in the COVID unit, so therefore, my team will be getting first chances to get the vaccine. And I know that it's...
If you can't hear it, she's saying they asked her, "Did you know you're gonna get the vaccine this morning when you woke up?" She was like, "Yes, I knew I was gonna get the vaccine, and we're all excited to get the vaccine." And she works in the COVID unit at the hospital, and this is a thing that's welcome.
Really, I'm sorry, I'm feeling really dizzy.
Now she feels dizzy, and she puts her hand right there on her head. She's breathing, trying to talk,
I'm sorry.
and she has to lean over, and she's getting ready to faint. Right, I can see she's getting ready to faint right now. So she leans over, and then she faints. All right. Now, what they said afterwards is that she was not unconscious. She just fainted, and she has a condition, according to her, that whenever she feels pain, she's going to fall out. But, okay, there were so many things wrong. I'm not saying she's a liar because, like I said, I did not hear that from the news. I heard it from people that I know. Before y'all heard it, I already knew. I knew about the story in the afternoon right when it first happened. I knew the entire story. I knew what her name was. I knew where she worked. I knew friends. I knew all of that. But what they say was she always feels pain. When she feels pain, she'll just pass out. But here's why that's wrong for her to even be out there. If you know you got a condition where you might get a needle shot or anything, you might pass out, you should not be the one answering questions. Why would you do that? You should be like, you know what? I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to answer questions because I got a condition and I might pass out, right? That should have been your thought process, because if somebody sees that, they're not going to be in my position to know your friends and talk to them personally on the phone and see what's going on. They're going to look at it and see what's going for what it looks like. You got the vaccine and you passed out live on camera. We saw it. All right. So that's the first thing. And then beyond that, this whole thing of having the live vaccine could go wrong anyway. It could go wrong anyway. Like, there could be a negative reaction, and we're seeing some of the antics they've been pulling. Some shots not having the needle depressed. Some shots not having the cap taken off. Just dumb stuff. And then beyond that, how do I know if you get the shot that you're not getting shot up with saline? Just straight a placebo. How do I know you're getting shot with the vaccine? And, you know, they got the black nurses out there getting the full blast, right? That lady from Jamaica that's in Queens, she could have got the full blast. But then Mike Pence, he could have got just straight water. Straight water. And Trump said he's not going to get the vaccine because he already had the virus and beat it. I'm not sure about Pence and his wife, but Trump had the virus and beat it. And he had some kind of, drugs in the regimen. So I'm not sure he would need it, but he's not going to get it. If you want to get the vaccine, I say go for it. But I don't know, man. It's too many things going on that just raise alarms. Aside from that whole situation in Chattanooga, which was ridiculous, I mean, whoever had that bright idea needs to get fired immediately because that was dumb. But aside from that fiasco, you had 2 hospitalizations in Alaska. You had 2 nurses that got the vaccine in Alaska, had to get rushed to the ER. Somebody else, there were some cases of Bell's palsy and the trial phase. It might have been in the UK, might have been in the US. Now, the FDA said that the vaccine wasn't what caused the Bell's palsy. Well, what did cause the Bell's palsy? They did not have Bell's palsy before, and then they get the shot and then develop it immediately afterwards. So what happened? Was it because something else that was in the thing that did it and not the vaccine itself? Like, what's going on? And if you don't know what Bell's palsy is, that's when part of your face has paralysis. And that could be temporary, lasting for 2 weeks, 2 months, maybe even years. And you may have lasting effects from the Bell's palsy even after it has concluded. I know a liberal guy, and shout out to, I won't say his name, but you know who you are if you're watching. I know a very liberal guy that was trying to clown Trump for not taking the vaccine and saying, oh, well, Obama was taking it and George Bush is taking it and Bill Clinton, he He's saying all the ex-presidents taking it, but Trump won't, right? Trying to clown him for that. But then when he saw there was cases of Bell's palsy linked to it, he was like, oh, well, I can't take it because I had Bell's palsy before and I still have, negative consequences as a result. So I can't take it. I was like, oh, okay. So when it could affect you negatively, all of a sudden you don't want to take it. But when Trump didn't take it, oh, he was wrong for that. He could not have any kind of reason why it's not for him, meaning like he already had the virus and he was on drugs that, could take care of it. And he might not even need it. It's not even about you just totally want to clown him, but then you have a reason and it's fine to do it. Oh, okay. Got it. That's kind of how they operate. I would not be surprised if somebody got the vaccine on camera with a placebo on purpose and then went on to clown those that don't get it, talking about they got it. Well, the whole time they know they didn't get it for real. They just pretended to get the vaccine. All right. Oh, and also, yes, thank you. There was cases in Australia of quote unquote false HIV tests. Have you ever heard of a false HIV test? I thought HIV test is like, a DNA test. 99.9%, you are the father. Shout out to Maury Povich. So what if you had a false DNA test? Have you ever heard of a false DNA test? A false paternity test? Have you ever heard of a thing like that? So what if you get the shot, you get the vaccine, and then it kicks back, oh, you got HIV now. I mean, what in the world? There were a few cases of that, a few cases of false HIV. Now, my question is, what's in the vaccine that would kick back a false HIV test? Now, do you want that in your body? If you do, that's fine. But, I mean, these are legitimate and valid questions we got to ask here because I might not want that in my body. All right? I don't have, any kind of disease or anything. I'm straight. So I don't want to introduce that into my body. That's just what it is. All right. But thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. I appreciate y'all for what you do. Yeah, we got a whole lot going on all over the place. Yeah, so I'll show you cancel testing. So I'll show you had the testing. Was it testing or they had a trial for the vaccine and it canceled it because of all the HIV tests that came back. All the false HIV tests, quote unquote false. And my question is, how you know it's false? If the HIV test came back positive, how you know it's false? You see what I'm saying? Like, what test is there to counteract a false test? If you take a test for HIV, it kicks back positive. What test can you do to fix that? To get a different answer? I don't know, but I'm just kind of asking some questions here. But yeah, it's plenty of these strange videos going on all around the internet. But the craziest one was the one that with the needle that wasn't all the way depressed. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play that again right quick. And I did a video on it earlier this week. If you've not seen that, I'm gonna show it to you. Okay, it's gonna be right here on the screen. Let me turn my desktop audio, and there it is.
You can see the UMC healthcare worker with his sleeve rolled up, but when it comes time for the injection, look at the top of the syringe. It appears the person...
Okay, let's pause it right there. Now, the needle is going into his arm for the very first time. He's getting the vaccine, and they got a up close, clear, HD, crystal. I'm talking about it couldn't be no more clear. He's getting ready to give him the shot, but as you can see, the black part of the tube, I guess, is meeting the bottom of it. Now, you only going to see the black part when the needle is empty. You're only going to see it right there when the needle is empty. It should be up close to the plunger. And the plunger right there at the very top, that's already all the way down. So the tube is empty. Now, the question is, okay, did he get stuck with a used needle? That's super dangerous. You're talking about HIV. That's HIV for real at that particular point. And if, it wasn't a used needle, then why was it already depressed? Why was it empty? And why did he give him that and act like it was like actually something in there?
And administering the shot does not really push down on the plunger. It actually looks like the plunger is already depressed. Our viewers wondering whether the worker received the vaccine at all.
Look at that. I mean, they got it up close. There's no denying.
Now, for comparison, let's take a look at one of the other injections administered just moments later to a woman. You can see this, the plunger.
Now, see this one right here. The plunger is up out of the needle, and the black part, it's kind of hard to see if you, depending on what you're looking at it, but the black part is up away from the base of the actual needle because there's something in it.
Plunger is clearly pushed down all the way, and when we show them to you side by side,
Look,
you might notice the difference. KTSM reached.
See, the plunger, you can see it moving, and you can see the black part also moving because it's pushing out something. Now, like I was saying from the beginning, I don't even know what that is. That could be straight sugar water. I don't know what's going on. All right, that could be Kool-Aid, clear Kool-Aid. This one right here was totally empty. But then he stuck it in the guy's arm like he was doing something, like he actually gave him the vaccine. He did not give him the vaccine. You know, the craziest part is that UMC El Paso, where this happened, the medical center at the university in El Paso, they said that they gave the first guy another shot just to clear up any kind of misconceptions. Like, another shot? What you mean another shot? There was never a first one. What are you talking about here, sir? You did not give him a shot. You gave him a stick with a needle that could have been used. If I'm the guy that got stuck with the needle, I'm going straight to the clinic just to make sure that I'm good with any kind of STD, because that might have been a used needle. It's crazy.
Reached out to UMC for a comment. The spokesperson maintains all 5 healthcare workers were given full doses of the vaccine, but the hospital is taking a closer look at our video.
How is that possible? We looked at it. He did not get a dose of the actual vaccine. So it could have been a mistake. It could have been just a regular mistake. They could have just said, you know what? All right, that was our bad. We're sorry. We're going to reshoot it and give him the actual vaccine and have that be that. All right. But they didn't do that. They were like, nah, he got it. Excuse me. I could see it right with my own eyes. I'm looking at it. It was nothing in it. So all this stuff is stupid. You know, you got people getting shots with the cap on. Is empty. It could be sugar water. It's like, you know what? All right, stop all this stuff. Stop all the political theater. I'm not impressed. All right. If you're talking about acting, this is E to Z level acting. This is not good. This is like, you know, super low budget, back alley, Hollywood trying to get on rap video level acting. All right. I'm not impressed. Not in the least bit. All right. Yeah, it's a movie. That's correct. CT. Yeah, watching the movie. And it's not even a good movie. This is like Mortal Kombat back in the day when that came out. Terrible acting. Oh, and you know what? they said that they gave him another shot. I almost forgot about this part of it. How do you get vaccinated twice? Is that safe? Does that make sense to get vaccinated twice? If you got vaccinated once and it went through, why would you do another vaccine like 3 weeks later just to ensure public confidence? It's like, what's that got to do with it? Like, if I got vaccinated once, shouldn't that be it? Should I get another one 3 weeks later? Does it make any sense to you? He didn't get it the first time and probably never got it. They probably all got fake shots. So it wasn't even no thing for the nurse to administer an empty needle because it was going to be fake from the beginning. You know, why even have anything in there if it's going to be saline? Just straight sugar water or whatever you want to call it. What's the point? So he probably just played along because, it's fake anyway. So we lit. We don't even got to, you know, it's fine. Alrighty. But we got super chats on deck, and I thank y'all again for being here. Let me see. Let's get to where I was. Let me see. Wolfgang says, is there ballot stuffing in on Canada? I have no idea. I've not heard about that in Canada. Canada's a small country. It's only like, 30 million people? I mean, you got more than that in California. So I'm not really sure how that really goes up there or how the system actually plays out. Let me see. Apple Bucker, I'll Puff Daddy, give me a few super chats here. He says, Merry Christmas, ABL. Peace, joy, and love to you. Your loving new wife, your bride, and your family. How do you top your Christmas tree? Star or angel? Favorite decoration? I prefer the star on a Christmas tree. Favorite decoration, I like the wreaths. Actually, I like the wreaths. Or matter of fact, I like the lights on the tree. That's always my favorite thing, the lights on the tree. He also says, AB, I loved your diet advice on the last show. What do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for lunch? What is your main meal? And what do you eat before the show? That's a good question. I usually eat a bowl of oatmeal and like a kind bar or something like that in the morning for breakfast. Get some water or something to go with it, or maybe like just a water, something like that. And what else? Lunch right around 1 o'clock. I have pretty much whatever. I can eat a hamburger. I can eat some fried rice, chicken. Um, if my wife cooks, it'll be something like steak with some rice, broccoli, kale. 'Cause I like green vegetables. I really enjoy broccoli. My favorite vegetable is broccoli, steamed, not no fried. Steamed broccoli, steamed Brussels sprouts like that. Steamed kale. I like steamed leafy greens, hearty greens. I mean, I like romaine like on a salad, but that's different. That's not the same thing as like steamed broccoli. So that's usually what I eat. And before the show, I usually don't eat anything. I've not had anything to eat in a while, probably since my lunch. If I do eat anything, I might eat a Count Bar. Or if I'm kind of tired for some reason, I eat a Count Bar before the show, and then I'm good money. I got my water. My wife brings up tea, and then I'm good to go. Yeah, but I don't. One thing I don't eat is late. I rarely do that. Now, if I got a dinner or something with some people, what I'll do is I'll structure my day to where I don't eat a lot in the day. Like, I was with Beverly Beatty yesterday, and shout out to her. I was with my wife and her friend. We all went out. So we had dinner right around 4 or 5. I did not have my lunch. I had my breakfast, and then I had like an extra Count Bar, and then I didn't eat it all from about 9 o'clock a.m. to about 5 p.m. But you can do that. It might be kind of hard for some people to do because they're not used to it. The body is not used to it, so they'll be very hungry at certain times of the day because they always eat right around that time. If they eat like a normal schedule, if they do breakfast, lunch, dinner, they eat that time. But me, I'll train my body to be flexible like that and not really be so hungry all the time. And a lot of times when you Beverly's doing great. She's recovering from the injury when she got stabbed. She's doing very good. Very, very good. All right. But I don't eat usually at night because what happens is if you eat at night, you're not going to use those calories. You're just going to sleep on them. And if you're trying to lose weight, it's impossible because you're never going to be able to burn. Like just from moving around, doing things, all you're going to do is like go to bed and have that calorie sit on your body. But that's a different story. I may do some kind of diet type of stuff later. Who knows? I might be like your man and go the other direction and do something like that on the side. But I always keep what I'm doing here because what I always want to talk about first and foremost is what's happening, the news, politics, and also just trying to debunk the mainstream media to give an alternative to the mainstream media. So I'm gonna always do this. All right. Oh, I got one a day vitamins too. And one thing that you could do for this whole virus thing, vitamin D, sunlight, of course, same thing, and also zinc, stuff like that. You can get some of these one a day multivitamins. They're pretty good. Walmart, wherever you want to go, get that. But also make sure you're eating good too. All right. And if you're drinking alcohol, so if you on drugs, alcohol, that's gonna complicate things. If you want to get high, use drugs, okay, or drink. But if you're trying to achieve a health goal, that's gonna block your blessings. But I digress. Yeah, Beverly had got stabbed up a few weeks ago. She got stabbed once, I think, in her side, but she's doing very well because she was out there. I think she was in D.C. She was protesting, and then Antifa people or BLM or whoever, they attacked her. But it was. I think she had one injury, like on her side, but she's doing very good, very, very good. Okay, let me see. Apple Bucker also says, ABL, what happened to your friends whose businesses went bankrupt during Mr. Obama's presidency? Are they okay? Did they rebuild? Are they conservatives? Did they vote for Trump? That's a good question. One of my friends, yeah, he's straight. He was able to bounce back. and he's a conservative. I talk to him still every now and again. It's out, you know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna say nobody's name, but he's good. My other friend, he's doing okay. You know, we're all entrepreneurs. We're all able to. We all have skills that we can use all the time. So it was just a roadblock for us, and it was kind of a trying time to rebuild back during Obama when everybody went broke, like 2011, 2012. If you don't know the story, back I say 2011, 2012, when Obama was doing this thing with the economy, crashing the economy. Two of my friends went bankrupt. One of them, 20-year brick and mortar, lost everything. Another guy had been around for a long time, not quite sure, probably about 5 to 6, 7 years with a brick and mortar. And he went bankrupt and had to restructure and everything, the whole situation. So another one of my friends had a similar problem, but he didn't go bankrupt. He just kind of was broke like I was at that time. But we're all doing better in different ways. He also says, can you do accent, Southern drawl, New York, Boston, Surfer, Jamaican, Irish, Scottish, English, French, Italian, Russian, Canadian? I might be able to do that, but not right now. Wolfgang says, for science, does yelling fire in a crowded theater actually result in a stampede? Has anyone tried it? Is it a replicable phenomenon? I'm not really sure. Apu Barker says, Clippers Paul George signs a $190 million contract. Bucks Giannis signs 5-year, $226 million contract. Systemic racism in America, ABL. Do you believe Mr. Obama, Mr. Kaepernick, when they truly believe that? Or are they exploiters of the white guilt? Obama and Kaepernick are getting money off of white guilt, black guilt, all kind of guilt. They're getting money from liberalism. So they got a total liberal line about oppression and black folks being this underclass or whatever. And think about Giannis is that Giannis is Nigerian descent, right? Grew up in Greece. That's why his name is Giannis Antetokounmpo. He has a Greek name because when in Greece, do as the Greeks, right? But anyway, he was in Greece and was able to, come from nothing. Basically, he was a street merchant when he was a kid. If you ever go to Europe or whatever, you see kids on the side of the road selling glasses. That was Giannis Antetokounmpo. The guy that now makes millions of dollars playing basketball. So he grew up in Greece, was able to become somebody over there, became professional over there, came over here, took the whole NBA by storm, and now is a $100 million man. So where's the racism at? I don't see it. If there was racism, he wouldn't even be over here, let alone Greece. But I digress. Let me see. Washington and Lee University professor Brandon Housebrook proposes. Washington and Lee, that's hilarious. Brandon Housebrook proposes that the votes of blacks should count double in presidential elections. What say you, ABL? I saw that. I almost did a video. I might do a video on that because I did read their article. Now, Brandon Housebrook is all too typical. He is what you call a radical biracial. And if you are biracial, anybody out there, nothing against you. I don't care what color you are. I'm not a racist. But I noticed that a lot of these biracial individuals, when they're on the left and they become radicalized, what they do, they try to overcompensate because they got an internal feeling of not being black enough. Maybe they were bullied as they were kids, or you want to be white, and then he's not. He looks in the mirror. He doesn't really see someone that's all the way black, not all the way white, not fitting in all the way. So he's kind of having an internal conflict. This is him right here, matter of fact, on the screen. That's the guy right there that wrote the article talking about blacks' vote should count twice. This is on The Nation, somewhere. I'm not really sure where that was, but anyway, that's him right there. Okay, so I'm not surprised. This is pretty common. This is Colin Kaepernick. This is Barack Obama. All right, this is Juicy Smouye. This is Bubba Wallace. This is what they do. They feel like they're inferior because they're not quite black enough, not quite white enough. So what they want to do, they want to overcompensate and say, you know what, I'm blackity black, back to Africa. I'm revolutionary. Malcolm X, Farrakhan, same thing. But I digress. That's my whole point. That's why I wrote the article, because he's just not really feeling black enough. And the article was dumb. The article was so dumb. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up right quick. The title is literally the votes of, somebody said 50% white guilt. That is hilarious. Oh my goodness. Wow. But the title literally says the votes of black Americans should count twice. I put it right here on the screen. This is on thenation.com. And it says vote reparations would empower us to replace oppressive institutions with life-affirming structures of equality. So really, this is just a bunch of word salad. When you read it, it's word salad. I'm gonna read like the first piece, the first little snippet of it. I'm not gonna go too deep into this because it's kind of dumb. But anyway, it says black votes in this country are worth less than white votes. Joe Biden won the Electoral College because black voters in Atlanta, Detroit, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia turned out in significant numbers. Let's pause right there. He just says that black votes are in this country are worth less than white votes. But then he goes on to talk about how Joe Biden won in Atlanta, Detroit, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia. What do they got in common? High black population. So what are we talking about? But anyway, he goes on to say, but even with overwhelming black support, 94% of Detroit voted for Biden. The outcomes in Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania were worryingly close. One core problem is the Electoral College. So he's talking about this Electoral College, why it's bad. But why is he worried about that? I mean, according to them, Joe Biden stomped Trump. That's what they say. They say he won the popular vote and the electoral vote. So what is he talking about? Why is he even... It's a stupid article. So not only is he insecure by not being black enough, but he's also a stone-cold moron. I mean, you got to pick one struggle. You can't be an idiot and be insecure. Pick one and stick to that. How about that? Okay. You know, if you're going to be dumb, be a solid boxer, basketball player, something like that, and get money that way. If you're going to be smart, then, you know, use your intelligence for good. But if you are not some type of, you know, big time athlete, you know, alpha male, strong guy, and you're dumb, it's like, where's your redeeming quality? If you can't pick up a hammer or pick up a book, what are you going to do with your life? I'm not really sure, but I digress. Now, back to super chats here. Hudson Jackson II says, when the Masketeers get in your face, who are you going to call? Mask Busters. Matthew Phillips says, hold on, let me go back to where I was. Matthew Phillips, let me see. Hold on one second. He says, sad realization about Chappelle. I grew up on this comedy. You're the second YouTuber I've heard take on him. These past 5 years sucked for seeing all my celebs turn out to be expletives. Yeah, I'm with you. I understand. John Doe says, ABL, think you need to file a class action suit against YouTube. Crowder, Salty Cracker, Tatum, all should join up. Your view count is being suppressed. Yeah, man, I got to figure out what's really happening. Is it me or is it them? Or is it a combination of both? I don't really know. Vertigo says, what's cracking? It ain't nothing, man. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Time Travel, who says, I have a mask I found on the floor of the bus station bathroom. I recycle. Hey, man, if you wearing that, then Godspeed, sir. Thank you to Martin Okoro, who says, delivered groceries today to a lady in Hoboken. I get there, she's screeching at me, put a mask on, people are dying. I had to hold in my laughter. Imperfect Lioness says, I thought about having a mask that reads, I can't breathe. I'll take this freaking mask off yet. Pete Sangria says, I dedicate this poem to 2020. Roses are red, violets are blue. If I had a brick, I'd throw it at you. Get lost already. I've had enough. Wow. Travis Berg says, any call-ins tonight? Yes, we do call-ins in a little bit, for sure. Thank you to Carolyn Janae. I know I butchered your name, and I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Blend the white man. Carolyn says, I'm an RN with a master's in public health. I'm not taking the vaccine and not giving it to anyone myself. I'm reading a lot about the mRNA vaccine and will continue to do so. Too many questions. You know, I've heard that from more than one nurse. You guys, you're not alone. People are really seeing what's going on. It's kind of questionable at best and outright, you know, dangerous at worst. So I don't blame you at all. Louis from Spain says, Apple Blocker, All Puff Daddy is super chatting like there's no tomorrow. You're going to have to invite him to your wedding. Charles Hunter Jr. says, hopefully after the reporting of Black Lives Matter raising over $10 billion, more people know what a phony communist organization they are. This is akin to how Antifa are really fascist. Correct. Let me see. Eric Popovich says, I think we really should pressure the government for healthcare for all. Jimmy Dore is right. They waste so much money on other things than us. Took 2 days to pass a $7.7 billion defense budget. I mean, what does that really mean? Healthcare for all. What does that actually look like? That's what I want to know. Is it, just no private insurance? Like, how does this really work? I'm trying to figure out how we go about it. I think we need to have less government, not more. If I were to say the government's wasting too much money, I would not propose they spend more. I'm gonna say spend less. So no more programs. Let's spend less money. It's like Tulsi Gabbard with this whole thing of wanting to tax businesses and made a lot of money during this pandemic. It's like, nah, don't tax these businesses because it's not their fault the government did what they did and allowed them to stay open and close small businesses. It ain't their fault. Maybe they lobbied for it, but the lobbyists can't be successful without the government's permission, right? So it's the government's fault. The solution to government doing a thing that's wrong is to have less government, period. Open back up so you don't got to deal with it no more. Rather than trying to put a new regulation, a new tax, a new spend, a new this, a new that, a new department, forget all that. Let's axe all of that and have less government. We'll figure it out on our own. Simple. The government should be in the background doing basic things. My roads, that's something else. People say, oh, if you have less taxes, my roads are going to be hardly going to drive. When I was in Virginia, like I said on our last show, them potholes be so big, if you drive over them, your whole car is totaled. A car literally got totaled in a pothole in Norfolk on 264. So all that tax money, where is it going? The roads ain't no more good. You go to the city and the roads are looking like they've been driving on them for the past 45 years, doing donuts, wheelies, like it's been 18-wheelers, ships, all of that on the road. It looked terrible. So where's the money really going? There was this whole big tax scheme in Norfolk where you had the mayor and his wife and the side chick. It was crazy. That's where it's going. How about less government, less taxes, less spending, less chances for fraud, waste, and abuse, and then have the money focused to where it has to go in a very, very efficient way. Makes sense, right? Maybe it does. Bear Bait says, I'm 5'11", 145, and I eat way more than you and say the same. Oh, and I'm not taking the vaccine. If employers start requiring it, I'm going off the grid. There you go. I'm with you, man. Thank you for that. Let me see. Mandatory Carry says, hashtag keep fighting. Threat Level Midnight says, check out the Poseidon Works website to help prevent COVID and what to take if you get it. Chuck Landman says, did you see the clip of the doctor saying that even after people get the vaccine, they still have to wear masks? Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy. Talking about, oh, don't travel, don't do anything. It's like, all right, well, what's the point in taking the vaccine? I thought the vaccine was so you can be free. And you hear that a lot on television. Oh, when we get the vaccine, we're going to be free. Nope. You're doing the same old thing. So if I'm still socially distancing and wearing the mask and not traveling, I might as well just not take the vaccine from doing the same thing I was doing before. Kathleen says, ABL, President Trump is calling for patriots to show up on January 6th. Thoughts? I've not heard that. I don't know about that. I need to look into it and see what's going on. Charles says, over the last couple of days, I've refused to go into businesses with a face covering. If they won't serve me, depending on the situation, I might leave. More of us need to push back. There you go. John Doe says, you're definitely being suppressed. File a lawsuit. Wolfgang says, if the COVID vax caused a false positive HIV test, what if the HIV test does not work? There you go. That's a good question. Very good question. That's what I was saying. It's like, okay, if the vaccine caused a false positive HIV test, how do you know that it's false? If the HIV test came back positive, that's how you determine if you get HIV or not, right? So what is an alternative method to test for HIV? And why is that not used over the test, which is obviously flawed? But again, I'll move right along. We got calls. coming. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description box. And there is an email for Skype. You can be right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen talking about whatever's going on politically or somewhat related. The email for that is in the description box. I'm going to go ahead and take calls right now. Let me turn my Skype on. If it wants to operate properly, then we're good. If not, then, hey, we got to do with it and get it together. All right, let's go ahead and get it. So what's going on in D.C. January 6th? You guys fill me in. Like, what's happening on that day and who's calling it? Is it like is it independent people that are throwing the rally, or is it the president throwing it? Like, what's going on? Let's get to the bottom of who's behind it. That's what I want to know. 718, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, wow, I actually got on the first. Hi, I'm Hallie from Brooklyn. Hi, ABL. Hi. I was just wondering, I've been out of the loop a little bit, I think, because of Hanukkah and everything, but the $10 billion that the BLM received, what exactly are they planning to do with it? Are they going to give it to black colleges? I should think that would be the ones that need it the most. Do you know anything that I don't? I mean, have you heard anything?
Well, I've not really heard anything directly from BLM. I've read some things. They're talking about giving it to like nonprofits, a lot of LGBT causes. I'm not really sure how that is about Black Lives, but
yeah, what is that? That blows my mind. What does that have to do with race or vice versa? I mean, I can't help wondering if it was fronted by the LGBT crowd, but I should think that it would make sense that Trump has tried to do so much to, help blacks through employment. But the big thing was giving money for these black, what are they called, historic black colleges or something?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't that be a good place to put the money? I mean, does anybody else out there agree with me? I mean, it just pains me to think that the money is. Besides it probably just pocketing for themselves, I mean, throwing down the sewer, this, I mean, if I give to a lot of charities, but I always want accountability. Like, where is the money going? Is there any accountability with this? I mean, to me, it's just sad. Like, it's to not give to these colleges would be an act of sabotage. They're going to, because that's the way I think for at least for many to advance. Also to build up businesses, that would be another thing. But you don't know offhand any, you don't know offhand anything else, right? Or I mean,
no. Well, apparently there is some kind of bookkeeping that goes on, which is outsourced. It's outsourced to a non-black company. Not surprising at all, but. Yeah. Apparently, we're going to know a little bit more about that once that kind of becomes public. If they're doing, if they're operating as a business, it's got to be kind of public. So we're going to know. But as of right now, I mean, it's LGBT causes because the people that founded it, they're lesbian. They're part of this whole LGBT thing. Yeah, they're Marxists, and they're also kind of like in witchcraft. So they're going to identify with whatever they got going on. It's not really about Black lives. It's about just a marketing campaign to get money.
I know. What about Antifa? Have they disavowed Antifa? Because it was sickening how they jumped on the bandwagon this past summer. To really just exploited black causes for their own. Are they getting? Do you know? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if any money was being funneled to them, which to me is scary. But
I mean, they're pretty much the same thing. They're like a similar organization, probably like a splinter cell of Black Lives Matter or vice versa. You might see some of the same guys at the BLM so-called protest as at an Antifa protest. It might be one. It might be one that happens one day, one the next day. It'd be the same crowd.
Gosh, it's so darn sickening. I'm really just praying for this country. I know that Biden's just going to empower them, assuming he gets in and everything. We'll hope and pray for the best, I suppose. Yeah. Anyway, enjoy your show, and I'll let you go. And just have a nice evening, everybody.
Thank you for the call.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great calls. You guys are the best audience on the internet. I appreciate you. And if you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up, share the video, like the video, do all that good stuff. And if you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Subscribe right now and click that bell so you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. Hopefully that bell works so you get a notification when I go live. If it doesn't, then you got to tighten up, YouTube. All right, Tariq, what's going on?
Hey man, what's up, man? Hey, I was just gonna talk about the Black Lives Matter $10 billion, man. Man, what it's gonna go to is just making them more louder and more annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like Black Lives Matter has been around for years, and all black people know about them is that they get on the streets and they just protest. That's all they do. But the interesting thing is, man, I think Black Lives Matter is now Antifa. Because, you don't even hear news of the Proud Boys and Antifa fighting anymore. It's Black Lives Matter and Antifa because black folks simply allowed white liberals to hijack their movement. Any white liberal can post and say, hey, let's meet up for a Black Lives Matter rally. And there'll be a bunch of white people out there acting very chaotic, very destructive. Bunch of white liberals, all in the name of Black Lives Matter. And black folks always caught off guard, never knowing what's going on, scratching their head, asking questions. Well, why are there a bunch of white people protesting? It's just frustrating. And a lot of this, I do kind of blame the black community on this. It's because we sit back and we act like nothing is going on. We act like we don't have a voice. We act like we can't stick up for ourselves. We act like we cannot criticize anything. So yeah, man. When it comes to Black Lives Matter and the donations, I heard you told the other caller, LGBT causes, because that's what it's about, man. Like the Black Lives Matter leadership, I'm talking about the headquarters. They don't have no masculine, heterosexual black man on there. That's taboo to them. Even in their own charter, they were like, we don't want no masculine black men running anything. We should have women, trans, gays, disability, all that nonsense. And then what does the black man do? What does the black man do in retaliation to restore his honor? He outside with Black Lives Matter shirts talking about I can't breathe and protesting. He's not even doing the basics. He's not even researching who funds these people. He's not even researching what are these people about. So yeah, man, just to wrap that Black Lives Matter topic up, bro, I just think the whole purpose of Black Lives Matter now is just a Democrat operation just to whip black people up in support of the Democrats. And that's all the black community ever is, bro. Did you listen to how Joe Biden talked to those black folks in that Zoom call?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And did you hear any black media discuss that thoroughly at all? Any of the black mainstream media discussed that thoroughly as far as that Joe Biden has went out of line and he's been very disrespectful, and that's not going to be tolerated. Did you hear that from any black mainstream media?
Not at all.
And see, and this is the thing, bro. They want to call people like me and you coons. Then when they talk about white supremacy, they reference it in form of right-wing Republican white people, like Trump supporters. All the while, the white people that's talking noise about them, that's yelling at them, that's screaming at them, that's even beating them up and canceling them for having a different political view is liberals. Yet these clowns won't say anything about that. You know what I'm saying? So the dilemma for the black community is, man, and I'm going to be honest with you, bro, the black community will never get anything politically if they keep laying down and rolling over. The dilemma for the black community from this point is, when will they ever stand up to liberals, bro? I swear to God, I can't remember one time in history where the collective black community told liberals enough is enough and demand something. And that's pretty much all I got to say, bro.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right, peace. Great call. Yeah, I did a video on that when Joe Biden was yelling at the people. I think it was Cedric Richmond, the chair of the NAACP, the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, and a few more, quote unquote, important black figures, elected officials. Everybody's an adult. Everybody's grown, got kids, grandkids, or whatever. Grown adults, right? He speaking to like they kids, screaming at them. I mean, it was crazy. And it was nobody said a word. Nobody said a peep. Imagine if it was Trump doing anything like that, anything close to that with one black person, let alone an entire, 9-person group of black people. It wouldn't have been tolerated. Racist, coon. We got attacked for just, supporting the president as black people. But Biden can yell at black people to mean like they kids, and it's fine. It's crazy. But, that's part of the reason, that's part of how I got from the left over to the right. Because I would see the hypocrisy, the outright hypocrisy. And I had no choice but to leave. I was like, all right, this is crazy. You're not going to call that out? I mean, really? All right, let's get to some more.
Right there.
All right, call you on the line. Let's speak to 267.
Hey, what's going on? I can't believe I got through.
Yes, sir. You're on the line, man. What's happening?
What's going on? This Hakeem from Philadelphia, man. I've been watching your show now for a good minute, man. Gun legislation got me into politics, and I done kind of went super far right with it, man.
All right, man. I'm loving to hear it, man, for sure.
It's amazing what you're doing, man. What brought me into politics was, I had a night job where I was doing security, and I worked with a lot of right-wing guys, and a lot of them were either ex-cops trying to be in law enforcement or retired military. And one of the guys that I worked with, he taught politics all night, and we worked a night shift where we had to stay up. So all night he taught politics. And, I had been voting Democrat, ever since the first time I voted, all because when I went, my mom said, vote Democrat,
Mm-hmm.
with no reason,
Right.
what I mean? So, the guy was showing me, pictures of different firearms and stuff like that. And I was licensed to carry. In Philadelphia, they give you a license to carry in a open carry state, and they call it a concealed carry permit. So I never knew that I could get, I knew I could probably buy a shotgun, but I never knew I could buy like what I thought was an assault rifle. So, when he showed me pictures, I said, I was like, you can own that stuff? He said, absolutely. He was like, absolutely. Pennsylvania is like, a class 3 state. I said, well, what's that? And I was like, ain't that an assault rifle? He says, no such thing as an assault rifle. After that, I was turned out, man. Here I am watching your show.
I love it, man. It's an education, man. That's one thing that, that's the main thing that we get. And once we get it, it's like, oh, okay. And then everything starts to make sense. At that point, it just makes sense. That's really the key.
Well, it's my strongest argument, and what it is that it either leaves people like, all you care about is guns, or they really can't say anything, because the biggest argument to vote Democrat is victim mentality. And it's like, I was raised pro-black, but I've always been like a conservative. Like, my family has conservative values, and like, we just vote Democrat, and it's like, it's a lot of women in my family, so even though they have conservative values, like, they think liberal, and it's weird. Like, I don't, and it's like I talk to a lot of my male friends, and we talk about problems, and they complain about, like, government overreach and stuff like that, and then when we talk about voting, and I'm like, well, why are you voting for this? And they can't see how the mindset of somebody that wants to regulate, how you defend yourself ties into everything else. And like, and it makes sense to me, because I'm just like, because they're like, well, besides guns. And I'm like, well, it's plenty besides guns. Like, it's the mindset of somebody saying, you should defend yourself with this, or, this person is sick, so you should be vaccinated, or, we feel like we should be involved in your marriage or your domestic affairs. I mean, I see leftist ideology everywhere, from family court to gun rights to the Me Too movement. I mean, it's just so deep for me, man. I mean, and it's like I said, this has been within like maybe a year or maybe 2 years, so it's maybe going on the second year. He sold me the AR, and then after that the legislation came, like this was written Democrats, and then I started seeing it. CNN, they advertised the meeting in Virginia where they were marching on the Capitol, Martin Luther King's the lobby day in Virginia.
Yeah.
So when they advertised that on CNN, I was going to go there. And I'm from Philly, so Black Guns Matter is out here. The guy Maj Toure,
right.
A lot of people was going there, and I was going to go. And then CNN advertised it as white nationalists, and they only showed the white people with the AR-15s. Like it wasn't regular people going. So I already knew that the media lied, but then I'm just like, they telling lies like that. Like they spinning the narrative like white men marching on the Capitol on Martin Luther King's birthday, as opposed to it being, gun owners going down there all with the same intentions, to protect their Second Amendment rights. That's a dirty lie, man. That's kind of low, because what it does is that it puts an energy out there, and it puts that racial tension out there, when a lot of times, man, I'm around a lot of white people, man, and it's not like that. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, man, but you talking to a guy from North Philadelphia, real rough area, and I just happened to be a guy that been working since he was 16, and I can't front and sit back and say that racial tension is an issue growing up for me in Philadelphia. Like,
right.
It's not that deep. Like, it's not that deep at all. Like, when the cops are kind of chill. Like, they're not, and then when I talk like this, it's just like, well, everybody ain't you, man. Everybody, that's all they could say. That's all they could say.
Anthony, yeah, they want to try to dismiss you and dismiss what you're saying, rather than just listening to you and then think about it for a minute. And it's like, well, wait a minute. I'm kind of from where you from, and I feel the same way you feel. They don't want to admit that because they're still stuck on what they've been told. They're still stuck on the lie. They're not really ready to come out of that lie yet. But once they're ready to come out of the lie, then they'll know what you said was true. They'll be like, oh, well, you know what? It wasn't this whole big thing about race coming up. That wasn't like every day dominating my thoughts. I was able to live life, and that wasn't really a big part of it. And they start to really, then they get that red pill moment. Then they come to reality. That's kind of how it goes down usually.
Well, it's coming down. I know you got to go, but it's going to come down when they start having to take the vaccine.
Yeah,
because it's all coming together. It's all coming together now. It's like he's laughing at it. It's so serious. Then it's just like people riot, and then people break into Saks Fifth Avenue, and then people do unemployment scams, and then people spend all the money, and then people are sitting back looking like, I ain't died yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, hold up. Like now it's like, hold up, they're taking a vaccine that, black people should take it. Like, we're taking it on television. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, then here's my one for you, right? I say, you voted, this is what you voted for. Oh, no, the president's pushing it. The president isn't pushing anything. The president is the head of the state, and there are some people in the state that believe that the corona is going to kill people and they're going to die. And then there are people that believe that the Democrats politicize the flu. And the president has to accommodate both sides.
Correct.
So don't try to spin it like Donald Trump. He said it was a hoax. Well, he kept changing. No, he didn't change. He said it was a hoax. If you watch him, he still says it's a hoax to a certain degree, but he can't really say it's a hoax. See, the side that I'm rooting, then they're like hot, like, you keep talking about Republicans like they're perfect. I'm not saying anybody's perfect. What I'm saying is that if I'm a vote, I'm not going to vote for somebody that's going to try to spin me and tell me Donald Trump is Hitler when he was just on G Unit Radio. Like
Exactly.
I'm the wrong.
Yeah.
Anthony, you got to have me on the show, bro. I'm the wrong one. They don't want no smoke with me. I think I'm shadow banned on Facebook. I argue with the best of them. I be going on the pages. I be going on what's my man from New York, and I love what he doing. I love his my sign. Like I be on these pages. Yeah, I be on my sign page, but I be having to check my sign because I'm like, bro, you like the street narrative. Like you run too much with that. If you're gonna be positive, you're gonna be positive. Don't cap for somebody that raped somebody just because they was black. Don't get, you know what I'm saying? Like he put up I saw your argument about the boy that, you know, they said that he didn't shoot, but he burnt the car. I'm just like, listen, that ain't my forte debating about the death penalty, but like you can't put this guy up and spin a racial narrative when two people was begging for their lives and they happen to be churchgoers and they died behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, like, you got dead bodies in the car. You burned it. I mean, I don't see I don't see how you can really spin that a different way other than what it is.
Well, that's our problem, and I'm not afraid to say it because, like, for me, what I do to counter the street narrative is like I got friends that, you know, we adults now, so it's like, you know, you got to pick a side. Like it's all good to hee haw, it's all good to laugh. If you got family members that's in the streets and you not necessarily in the streets, it's all good to laugh at street situations until it hit home. So when them situations hit home, then is it funny? So like a lot of people that so-called would give me the approval because I done been called everything in the book, but I stuck to my gun because I know that, like, no, it's the opposite. You can't call me a coon. You can't call me a Sambo. You're capping for criminal activity. That's not being black.
Exactly.
You can't spin it that I'm a Tom because I'm not capping for somebody that want to do illegal stuff. And trust and believe, I'm not a square by any means. I just don't put my business out there. So it's like, but morals, if you stand on your morals and your principles, a lot of things that come into perspective. And that's what people aren't willing to go 100% with. Because when I get them on the phone, I don't text with them. I got to get them on the phone. I need you to look me in the face and tell me you believe that. Like, for real, like, okay, you hate Trump. Why?
Right.
Well, you're a Trump fan. No, I'm just being real. Like, you want me to hate somebody that, like this dude that took pictures with every rapper, not one rapper, and then they be like, it was pictures. Okay, what about when he was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? That was a show. Okay, what about when he worked with Jesse Jackson? He was just doing that. What about Jennifer Hudson? Oh, he did that for that. Well.
At a certain point, I mean, you can't keep explaining away all these different things that he did throughout the years because it ain't just one time, it ain't just two times, there's multiple times, and then there's sometimes he did things you didn't even know about it. So it wasn't about PR or anything like that. This is just him doing it because he wants to do it.
But as a conservative, if you thorough, you take the argument off of him because they'll just say you championing him. Then apply their ideology to something else and see how quick they dismiss it. And like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and then I'll be like, ho. I'll be like, yo, you that quick to make that decision on that, but you're saying that Donald Trump's a racist, but he did 17,000 things with black people. But this one, like, and then when you flip the scenario, they don't operate the same way. You get what I'm saying?
Right. I'm
like,
with you, man.
It's equivalent to remember they used to say Ralph Lauren got on television and said that he didn't want black people wearing his clothing, and I said Ralph Lauren said that, like, and I'm from Philly, like, you know, a lot of people wear polo. Like, it was a big deal at one point, and it still is. Yeah, I mean, in New York, it's really a big deal. You got people that have these anniversary things and get together and wear polo and be on horses, and like they really take it to the extreme. But my point is that at one point they were saying Ralph Lauren said on TV he didn't want black people wearing clothes. Then they said it was Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah, I see.
Then
I
they said it
heard
was
Tommy when I was a kid. I heard Tommy. I didn't even hear about Ralph Lauren. I heard Tommy.
They said it about every designer. You want to know why they said it about every designer? Because it was a lie. It never happened. Now here's another thing that they did.
I got real quick. I got more callers on the line. So real quick,
I wrap this one up. I was reading an article about wine or something like that, and Jay-Z at one point had did a song where he was saying that Cristal was racist. They had asked Cristal a question like, how did they feel about rap music promoting their spirits? And they basically said that they liked it, but they didn't need to necessarily be associated with rap music. They said it like in a nice way. Jay-Z spun the narrative that they said that they was racist, and I guess he took offense because they didn't want to attribute or give rap music the props for making the brand more known on the scale. You get what I'm saying? So
right.
He was able to spin the narrative that they was racist, but in all actuality, that's what they said.
Right.
But it was like a baiting question by the people that wrote the article.
I got you, man.
That's probably what happened with the designer situation.
It probably was like, trying to promote some other kind of brand, trying to promote FUBU or something like that. But hey, man, it's been a great call. I got to get to a few more. Hey, if you don't got a channel on that, man, you need to start a channel because you could talk and you know how to, handle the show. You start a channel, man, for sure. I'm being serious.
Yeah, I really appreciate you telling me that. Me and my girlfriend talk about it all the time. I'm working on it. I'm gonna let you go.
Just go ahead and do it, man. Just go ahead and put something out, man. You only got to show your face if you don't want to. Just go ahead and do it, and then once you do it, you done it, and just keep on going and build it that way. Don't worry about the rollout or nothing like that. Just do it and improve as you go. That's what I did. That's where I'm at, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
All right now.
100.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, I let him go a little long because it was a good call. And all you gotta do if you want to do a channel, if you are good on the phone, you're able to get your ideas out there pretty well. Start a channel, man. Just do it, and you'll be able to grow as you go. That's how it goes. Somebody asked me, "Hey, am I drinking coconut water?" Nah. This is the plug I'm gonna do, but this ain't no. I'm not getting paid on that. This is just I like this brand. They're out here. I think they're from Alabama. This is Milo's. This right here, this is the tea. I mean, this is the lemonade, pardon me, but the tea, they're 0-calorie tea. Oh, this right here, the Milo's, is rocking. You can get it from the Walmart gas station or whatever out here in Tennessee, Alabama. I'm not really sure where else it's sold. Is it nationwide? I don't know. I've never seen it before until I came to Tennessee. I never seen it in Virginia at all. So, when I first started my channel, I didn't show myself. I had, for you guys that are just, coming on recently, or if you are a veteran, you guys may remember in my old videos, it was just slideshows. I didn't even have a camera. I didn't have all of this set up, obviously. I had an old BlackBerry phone. In 2015, I was recording voice notes in the BlackBerry, and I had an old iMac from 2009. And I would take the BlackBerry audio, upload it to my computer, and then just make slides in iMovie and put it out as a video. And then I was able to invest whatever kind of ad money I got from YouTube into a camera, into a proper microphone, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Yeah, but this right here though, and plug, but no, I ain't getting paid. I just want to do it. And hey, if Milo's is out there, I would love to be a brand ambassador because that right there, oh, man, rocking. All right, let's get to some more calls here. The number to call 434-658-1220, and let's go 336 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, is this ABL?
Yes, it is. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, this is Tom from North Carolina. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I spoke to you before, but, man, I wanted to call in. I wanted to share this, man. This is a kudo to our Second Amendment rights and all those who agree with that, and I know you do and I do. Just last night, a good friend of mine's son went to Walmart, and he got out his truck, semi-dark place, semi-light place, and a very well-known Walmart in town, Winston-Salem, where I'm from. And a guy approached him, kind of big, and told him, says, look, I'm getting ready to rough you up if you don't give me your truck and your wallet, because I'm getting ready to take your truck. Well, little did he know that my buddy's son was toting, and my buddy's son, now he's only 20, he tapped his side. He said, that wouldn't be a good idea. Said the dude just turned around and walked away. So I just want to call in and share that. That's it.
Hey, man, that's a great story. Excellent story.
Yeah, get it out there, man. Just be encouraged by it, brother. Appreciate all you do, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, God bless.
All righty, let's get to a few more. Let's go 240. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
It's your boy JB. What's up, my brother?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Another day, another doubt. You know, I hustling till the cows come home, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I just been watching and follow this whole Trump process. Did you also hear about how the Biden campaign got kicked out of the briefing, the security briefing in the Pentagon? You heard about that?
Yeah, what I heard was that they paused the briefing, and I'm hearing different reports. First, they were talking about, it was a scheduled thing because of Christmas. Then they came out and said that's not true. So I don't know what's going on.
I think it's because the China stuff's coming out. A lot of stuff's coming out about Biden. We had a lot of investigation. And what I also hear is that he's going to put Sidney Powell on a special, what do you call it, investigation team, special investigation team on the Hunter Biden thing. If they do that, it's game over. It's game over.
Right.
She's like a pit bull in a skirt, isn't she? She's mean and evil. You need that right nowadays because, like I told everybody, I said, even though Trump doesn't win, as long as he maintain the Senate and our key seats in the House, the takeover is going to happen by 2022. So, regardless, nothing gets too out of hand because never let Biden go so far. And that's what I try to explain to people. I say, this loss is not really that bad of a loss. Would you not agree, ABL?
Yeah, I mean, it ain't the end of the world. If it goes that way, it won't be the end. Because one thing people got to understand is that these fights, that this political fight has been going on for a very long time, hundreds of years. I mean, it was a fight. The country started in the fight, 1776. So it's not going to be just perfect all the time. It's going to be a continuous thing that's always going on. And we can't just look at this and say, oh, it's over. You got to keep on going and, just get it back.
Yeah, that's what people understand. And I'm trying to explain to a lot of people that, oh, you're down. Why are you down about it? You got to realize the Senate runs, everything goes through the Senate and the House. We're gaining seats in the House. The more people came out, 74 million people supported Trump.
That's right.
74 million people. And he had 10% black vote and 15% Latino. For that alone, eyes are getting open, and people are never going to go back. Once you take that red pill, and once you realize that you're not a victim anymore, you win. You're winning. You see what I'm saying? Because life changes when you don't live in this victimhood mentality. And I tell people all the time, that's why I'm a Republican, because I've always been a Republican, but I'm just now saying I am.
Right. There you go.
Would you not agree? As African-American male, you know just what I do. You're very segregated in what you think. And we've got to be more embracing of other ways of thinking, or we're never going to have any political ties or holds because we think one way. We think one way. Like the mayor of Baltimore, I made a comment on what I said. I don't care if it's so cool his haircut looks. Is he going to do the job? Is he going to clean that city up? That's my sole point. I don't care what he looks like. Is he going to clean that city up? Because Baltimore's a crapper. It is. You been through there? Yeah, but you get what I'm saying? We're so concerned to see a black man have a clean cut. Who the hell is clean cut? Is he going to do the job?
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
And we get out here and stop judging by color and judge by performance.
That's right.
Yep. And that's an ABL. Oh, ABL. Did you get Watch Dogs yet too? I mean, Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah, I can't really say I'm a fan though. It's all right.
I'm working my way up to it. It's one kind. It's a catch-22. It's kind of like growing on me because I bought it.
Right.
And
right.
I'm
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm breaking down. My 15-year-old said, "Dad, get on TC. Get on the what they call little chat rooms they have for when you're talking to people on in TC. What they call them? What do they call them? He called it something. The Discord or something.
Discord, yeah.
Yeah, he said, join the Discord, Dad. You might like it. I said, okay. Yeah. But yeah, ABL, man, always a pleasure hearing you talk, brother, man. I catch it every day. I give you a like. I put your post on Facebook. Despite the haters, but you know what, though? Hate is the first sign of love. That's how I look at it.
That's right,
All
man.
right, brother. Have a nice one, man. Enjoy the show. And hey, it ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't over.
All right, thanks for the call,
peace.
man. Appreciate you.
Peace.
All right, shout out to JB for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank you all for being here as well. Let's get to some more calls. 954, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Mr. Logan, man, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing great, sir. This is Troy out of Texas.
All righty, what's going on?
Everything is going smooth, brother. Listening to your show all the time, and decided to call you and give you a shout out and give you my 2 cents on what I see going on with all this stuff you're talking about.
All right.
Yeah, so I mean, with the $10 billion, well, my take on this $10 billion is, as always, they got to find a small group of people, throw some money at them, and kind of make them feel good, and everybody else look at it, and then you use that small group of people to deceive the many. That's kind of the way I see that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the lottery. A few people win the lottery, get everybody else excited, and now everybody want to buy a ticket. It's a part of the whole scam. So throw $10 billion at BLM, everyone else see that and say, hey, look at that. Now everybody want to support them, and that's how you deceive the many.
It makes a lot of sense. It's just a form of advertising, basically, right?
Yeah, basically. I mean, you got to look at this from a more intelligent perspective instead of just looking at it at face value, and understand that when these people do things, it's not just the act. There's a whole plan. There's a whole scheme behind it. There are reasons why they do certain things, because there are certain objectives they're trying to meet. And in order to meet those objectives, this is a step that they have to go through. This is a part of their process.
Right.
So most people are looking at it like, hey, they got $10 billion. Well, what are they going to do with that money, this and that? Well, the people who are giving it to them or allowing them to have that money, they're not worried about that. They're looking at the fact that, okay, now that they got that money, is it helping to meet the objective that we're trying to meet? Is it getting the support that we're trying to correlate behind that $10 billion to these few people, with the masses now coming out to support? Right. And anywhere money is, corruption is going to play right in, basically.
Of course.
Yeah, and then on the vaccine issue, if you look at the situation, it was funny enough that in New York, the first person to get the vaccine was a black person. And looking at that, you're like, okay, it could have been anybody else. Why does it have to be that person? They're trying to send a message. They're trying to get people to be on board, and they think that the most skeptical crowd is probably going to be black people.
Right.
So it's just all a part of, pushing that narrative out there. In the same way they say that, hey, somebody on the team that developed one of the vaccine was black, so black people should get it. Don't be skeptical about it and whatnot, because somebody that was on the team is black too.
Mm-hmm.
And then see here where so one of the guys were talking about like the whole racism issue with the president and stuff like that. I mean, pretty much anything with ism on it, they're using it to create division, because whenever you say or use the word ism, it prevents you from having to define or give a specific reason why you're saying someone is discriminating against something by using the word ism. So you're basically creating a label instead of addressing specific problems directly, situation by situation. Mm-hmm. So by using the term ism, you're basically creating a label, you're branding this person, and then in that way you don't have to really give much explanation as to why you're saying this person is bad.
It's kind of a dismissal thing. It's kind of a dismissing. It's like, okay,
yeah,
I put the ism on you, now I'll dismiss you, and I can just leave it at that.
Yes, and then everybody else is going to be on board with me because I already done labeled you.
Right.
And so that's what folks got to understand, is that whenever they use the word ism, it's basically used to classify a group of people or a thing without having to give you an explanation, and then just have you follow it because you think that, I may go through something like that, or something like that may have happened to me, or, you know, because I mean, I'm an immigrant, and I've experienced racism up front once in America, and it was from two cops in an unmarked car, just a regular pickup truck down in Florida. And they pretty much pulled up alongside me. They were cursing at me, trying to get my attention. I didn't pay them any mind, so they decided to pull me over, gave me 2 tickets for no reason. I actually drove to a gas station, parked in front of the gas station because I knew what they were up to. And that was the only time I've ever experienced anything of that sort, and it was 2 cops in plainclothes.
Right.
Now, I've encountered many police in respective afterwards, and I've never experienced anything like that, but not because I had a bad situation with 2 individuals means that everybody else, I'm going to look at them in the same light, or I'm going to paint everybody with that same circumstance. You feel me?
Right, I'm with you.
But most people, that's what they do. They just say, hey, if one person is bad, then guess what?
Everybody's bad. They just label them all rather than just looking at it for that one person. And really, that's a form of racism right there, because you want to judge an entire race or an entire group based upon one bad experience. That's not how you do it. You look at everybody as an individual. But thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing with racism.
I'm sorry, caller. Listen, I have more calls on the line. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Have a good one.
All right, no. All right, shout out to the caller. And thank you all again. We got quite a few more calls on the line. The number to call is always in the description box below. It's 434-658-1220. There's also an email for Skype in the description box. You could be right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And let's get to some more calls. Let's go. 484, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL? How's it going?
Everything's good. How about yourself?
Shit. Yeah, good. Sorry I had you on speakerphone, but hey, I have one question. So I was looking into when Donald Trump had wanted Barack Obama's birth certificate, saying he wasn't born in this country, and he was claiming that Obama wasn't born in this country, so he couldn't be president, something like that. That's how the documentary was trying to spin it, but I'm pretty sure there's more behind the story. And I wanted to ask for your perspective on that.
Now, what was that? You said that that Trump said that Obama wasn't born in the country?
Yeah, he was trying to push for the media to ask for Barack Obama's birth certificate, saying he wasn't born in this country, so he couldn't be president. And I was like, I'm going to look into that. Even though I did watch some documentary, and it was mentioned in the documentary, but I was just wondering what your thoughts was on.
I mean,
on that.
Now I got a few things about that. Trump wasn't even the one that started that. That got started back in 2008 when Hillary Clinton was in a primary against Barack Obama. Out of her camp, I'm not sure if it was Hillary Clinton herself, but out of her camp, there was questions about Barack Obama even being eligible because he was from Kenya. And at the time, I remember I was an Obama supporter, and I remember that because I was mad about that. I was like, why they worried about Obama? You know, I'm still a liberal, still kind of lost in the sauce. You know, I'm over there on that side. And that came about in 2008. Now, all Trump did was just, you know, bring it back like 2012 or so. And he took it to the moon. It's the same thing with this whole thing about fake news. They say that Trump is attacking the media and he's talking about fake news this, fake news that. He's one that created the fake news thing. But in reality, Hillary Clinton did a whole speech about fake news before Trump ever said the word fake news. So a lot of what people want to try to assign to Trump, Hillary Clinton started. And then beyond that, they want to try to say it's a racial thing if Obama questions where Barack Obama is from. But they were doing the same thing with, what was that, with Ted Cruz, because Ted Cruz was born in Canada, Edmonton, Alberta, if I'm not mistaken. But since one of his parents is a natural born citizen, he was able to get around that whole qualification. And also, John McCain was born in the Panama Canal. But since he was born in the military zone and his parents are U.S. military, then it was okay. It was like being born here in America. So there was always questions about people coming from and your eligibility and that type of thing. That's never been a racial thing. But now all of a sudden, because it's Barack Obama and the media wants to paint it like that, then it is.
Yeah, that's what I figured, because I felt like there was more. I felt like there was more to the story. I was like, but then it did mention in the documentary it was allegations was started by Hillary Clinton's campaign, which I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And another thing, because when that was brought up, because I remember I was asking why Trump would bring that up. Why does it matter? But come to find out he was pushing for this, he brought it back up. But the allegation was really started. It reached him from Hillary Clinton. Is basically what you're saying. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And go ahead. What was you about to say?
Nah, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, and another thing. Listen, people like on Fox, like I follow like some of the news outlets on Facebook, and oh my God, these people with this coronavirus, they're out of control. I mean, people like if I say I'm not wearing this mask, I'm not wearing a mask or taking a vaccine, I have people like accusing me of trying to troll, wishing death on me or my family members, or you're a super spreader, all that kind of negative thing. And I was like, you people stop by to comment on my reply to my post, even I comment on a public thing. You know, it's just ridiculous. And I was like, and they threatened to call my job. I put a fake job on my Facebook page. A lot about where I actually work at, because I'm not going to put where I really work at on my Facebook. So they're threatening to call up there and try to get me fired. I say, well, good luck with that, because I don't work up there. I live on the other side of PA, so so they'll just be wasting their time. And one more thing I wanted to touch there. What that last guy said, a few callers back, what he said when he was always Republican, because this year, this is my first time voting this year and registering, but I was keeping up with everything that was going on. Oh, another thing I wanted to tell you, ABL. They put George Floyd on National Geographic and put him as a monument. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. Did you hear about that?
I heard about, wait a minute, a monument? I don't understand.
Hold up. I'm pulling it up right now. Okay, so it says BLM photo cover shows George Floyd's from BLM protected onto a monument of Confederate General Robert E. Lee.
Oh, so they projected him onto the monument of Robert E. Lee. They put his face on there like some type of projector just to show it.
Yep, and it's on National Geographic.
I mean, people are weird. And, I mean, the thing is, it's like, why George Floyd? I mean, there's people that you could pick, not George Floyd. Yeah. I mean, but see, this is just propaganda, and then just a way to raise money and to be woke, and it's all phony.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm seeing a lot of people replying to this post, including black people, anybody, and they're like, they obviously don't agree with it. They're saying a lot of negative stuff. At least Chadwick Boseman. Sorry, I pronounced his name wrong. At least him, the guy from Black Panther.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, my bad. I pronounced his name wrong. Yeah, at least him, but not George Floyd. I mean, he didn't. No, it's a joke.
Yeah.
But thanks for taking my call.
Hey, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, have a good one.
Same to you. All right, good call. Let's get to some more here. 330, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
How you doing? This is BB.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just wanted to call in and see how you was doing.
Everything is great. Can't complain.
I just wanted to talk about like the media and all this voting.
Okay.
It's like how could you they could just the way they say that they spew out all these lies and then they just twist the truth so they could just do that. It's just crazy. Like when you're telling lies, I mean, it's not like, I mean, how can you get away with that if you're just, telling lies? And if that's, don't you think that's some of the stuff that they say are lies?
Oh, absolutely. And no doubt about that. It's a lot of lies going on, but I feel like they think they can get away with it because, they have so much control. That's the main thing. Have a lot of control. And they feel like they could pretty much do whatever. And to a certain extent, they're right. They have so much control that's what does it. And it's up to us to gain some of the control back away from them, and have it for ourselves rather than just letting them do whatever they want to do.
So So there's how many people are in the United States? 330 million. And then there's only so many people. How many people watch CNN and MSNBC? It's like a very small. But how do they keep going on? Like,
well, here's the thing about that. That's a good question. But see, the thing about it is when you're talking about news, I mean, if anyone watches the news, what are they really watching? It may not be a lot of people when you compare it to the population size that watch these channels. But once you add it all together, out of the total news watchers, it is a lot because Fox is pretty much the only mainstream source on television. You have more that are starting to come up, OAN and Newsmax, but the mainstream is Fox. If you just turn on your TV casually, you're going to see Fox, and that's kind of halfway liberal too. So it's hard to find conservative outlets on television. So if you're watching the news, you're pretty much just watching the left. That's why people are cord cutting and coming on YouTube to find people like myself and many others that give alternative points of view. And they're also going on their phone and finding different apps, Newsmax, OAN, to get away from that.
Yeah.
But as far as mainstream, they dominate.
That's crazy how that is. Like George Soros, how does he get his money? He's funding a lot of these. If he wasn't around, he probably would be going under. They probably just fail. Because he's probably mostly supporting all these channels and all these.
Well, I'll tell you what. I tell you what. The thing about it is, it's more than just George Soros. He's definitely a big part of what's happening. He's a big part of the problem, but it's definitely much more than him. That's for sure. And he's probably the most prolific. But it's a lot of people out there that just people get rich guys that just want to spend money and want to see the world burn. There's a lot of those guys out there.
Or even like China might be even sending money over there.
Oh, China's definitely. You saw that. You saw what happened to Eric Swalwell. Had a whole spy. Yeah. I mean, and then the most chilling part about the whole spy story is that the spy was targeting him before he got to the mainstream, before he got into the U.S. U.S. House when he was still on the city council. She already saw it, so they're already studying you before you even get to a particular point. They got a whole profile on you, and they can predict, okay, you're going to go to here, so we're going to go and send a spy out there, get into your life, and then put little moles in there. That's how they operate.
Yeah, I mean, I think, because they spot him out because he was, to me, he seems like he was a mama's boy or something. Or some of that, I don't know, I just, because they knew they can get on over on him. That's probably why they did that.
Yeah.
Another thing on the voting, I mean, when they're counting all the votes and all of a sudden they just stop counting, ain't that red flag everywhere? I mean, like, I'm sure the courts and all the judges are watching TV or whatever. They don't see that. Everyone just stop and tell all the conservatives or the Republicans to get out of there so we can cheat. I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I think this whole thing is really going to be looked at for a very long time to see exactly what's going on. for sure.
That's nuts, man. I just can't believe how that. I just don't understand. You have to have, how do you say? The judges can't just be like, the Supreme Court judge can't be just like, oh, we're gonna take this up, put it, take this, and I mean, I can't even think what I'm thinking of. You know what I mean? When they have to wait for someone to say we're going to take this to court, and then if they want to, they'll just say yes or no.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Once since it's a presidential election, they should just take it no matter what, and see if it is.
Well, I'm not really sure how that whole thing, how the law works.
Me neither. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think
figured it's just like a regular judge, but they're up higher. I guess it's same.
Right, man. Hey,
all right. I'll thank you for talking to me, sir.
Thank you for the call, man.
I like your show. All right, have a good one. Maybe I'll talk to you soon.
Oh, definitely, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Yep. Bye-bye.
All righty. Let's get to some more here. All right, calling on the line. I'm speaking to 817.
Yes. How are you doing, Anthony, Brian, Logan? How are you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Can't complain about yourself.
I'm doing good. Living in North Texas. Kind of living the idealism of living in modern day America, with socialism ideologies going around, but, free.
Yeah. Still in America.
Right. So, as far as what I read in the link or where, I mean, you probably know, but I also know. How do you feel about BLM being raised $10 million and all that since, May?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really ridiculous, but that's what it's all about from the beginning. Just trying to raise money, trying to get money.
Yeah, but do you know who's actually helping them being raised all of that? It's not just them, is it?
What do you mean?
Have you heard about George Soros and all that?
Oh, of course. It's a bunch of guys like him that are rich and give money and just want to kind of see the world burn.
Right. Does he have diplomatic immunity or whatever, or does he have offshore stuff and all that?
No, he's not a diplomat.
Right. He is a philanthropist, or that's how it would be said from people that would think he would be doing a good cause to American or everyone type of citizen, which, yeah, that's not so much the case, is it?
No, not at all.
And that's kind of sad. I mean, when you break down freedom and all of that, and there's people like Soros out there that is really exploiting freedoms, it's kind of hard to know at this point, whether you agree with me or not, who's right or wrong in this.
Okay. Hey, he had to go. I'm sorry. I don't normally do that, but please, if you've been drinking or something, please don't call the show. I mean, for real. Don't do that to me. Okay, let's get to some more calls. All right, call you online. We're speaking to 917.
Hey, Bill, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. About yourself?
Not bad, brother. Happy to finally get to you, man. I've been a fan of yours for so long.
Oh, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you, man. Between you and Brandon, man, I've turned on. I've red pilled so many people, man, just off of your show.
Hey, man, I love to hear it. That's what I like to hear, man. People just coming to the light, getting their mind right, for sure.
Dude, so I'm not gonna hold you up. I'll just say this, man. I'm in Commie, New York right now, and the thing that has drove me crazy with this election, I've lost relationships, dating relationships, fraternity, friendships, just trying to talk to people. And more importantly than that, I've been a police officer in this city for over 15 years. Okay. And when I tell people what's really going on, they don't get it. I say, listen, dude, like if you get arrested in New York right now, New York City, I don't know if you know this or not, but we call it the catch and release.
Yeah,
So now,
I've been hearing about that. It's like you can't even hold them for anything. You just, they're out there to do something. You gotta let them just. It's like fishing.
it's ridiculous, bro. So I'm at the point now. I'm like, dude, it's no point. People, I don't think people understand what's really going on. And I said, and you know this. I said, dude, don't you understand that Democratic policies only destroy the Black and Hispanic communities? I said, white people don't defund their neighborhoods because you need police safety to keep your wealth, to keep everything stable, to keep your school safe. It doesn't make sense. I said, you're constantly voting for people who are killing you. They're literally killing you. All right? And in New York City, the district attorneys, when you go into their office, they have what they call predetermined decline to prosecute, right? So if you arrest people for a plethora of things, no matter what it is, they will automatically decline to prosecute, right? So now they're not giving these people bail. That includes the people who are getting beat up by their neighbor. They get arrested, they get out, they go back and assault them again, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? Mm-hmm. Now, as you sit here and you look at this situation, of course, you tie the police officers' hands, you arrest people, and what they're doing now is they're just constantly, with the civilian complaint board, what they do is they encourage civilians to make complaints against police officers, right? So now with that whole thing, you see that Ilhan Omar, and this is something very important, Ilhan Omar, AOC, and all these people, they want this national registry for police officers who are quote unquote bad police officers, right? Now I said to my boy, I said, dude, why do you think they want that for this quote unquote bad police officer? To me, a bad police officer is somebody who's planting drugs on people, beating people in handcuffs, murdering, and that's what I would consider a bad police officer, unless I'm on another planet, And I said, what they're really doing is, you have to understand, the average police officer is a patriot. The average police officer has training. The average police officer has multiple firearms. So now, once they start doing the things that they're doing now, like the ATF, messing with pistol braces and all of these weird things, okay? I said, now they have a registry of where all of these people who have almost military-level training live and have multiple weapons. So now you seize their stuff first. I said, you have to think about that, because if you look at Jericho Green on his channel was talking the other day when we was talking about the anniversary of the bombing in Hawaii. And after the war was over, after the Second World War, they asked Japan, like, why didn't you attack America closer on their shores, right? And Japan said, because behind every bushel of grass is a gun. Even our foreign enemies know if they come over here, they're going to get lit up.
That's right.
And that's not talking about police and military. That's talking about civilians. I'm talking about regular civilians, right? And just to wrap it up quickly, like how brainwashed people are with the media. I have a family member who moved to Florida, right? Moved to Florida because New York was too crazy, and Blasio and all these people. I said, listen, dude. I said, you're in Florida now, all safe, which is very pro-police, pro-constitution. I said, and him and his father, okay, they're all of a sudden everything is about racism. I said, dude, this makes no sense to me. And I said, you're calling people crackers and all this crazy stuff. He called Kyle Rittenhouse a white supremacist. And he said, I said, well, what makes him a white supremacist? He killed 3 black people. I said, well, what 3 black people did he kill? And he said, in Wisconsin, man, you don't know what you're talking about. So after I went down the list, I said, first of all, I don't think he should be there because he's young. But unfortunately, a lot of grown men are too busy being liberal and soft that you have young patriots stepping up. Okay? That's what it comes down to.
That's right.
So I said, this man almost got hit with a Molotov cocktail, shot with a Glock 26, beaten in the head and robbed with a skateboard, metal, and wood. I said, he defended himself. So, however, you got people who've been arrested 32 times, 42 times, 10 gun charges, walking the street with no bail, lawlessness. But the working class man, like you, me, the average person that just wants to live a normal life, they are the low-hanging fruit. Eczema culture. That's why you can go after people who defend themselves, because that's another deterrent of the Second Amendment. If you defend yourself, we're going to arrest you. The castle doctrine in Texas they're trying to attack. They want to make it now so you can't shoot an invader in your house until he shoots at you first, or he tries to stab you first. Like, what? And if you look at going back for the last 30, 40 years, tactically, even with a knife, the FBI says 21 feet is a good distance for a knife attack. For 21 feet for a knife and somebody who has a holstered weapon, you could stab somebody 3 to 5 times before you even get that gun out.
Oh yeah, because at that point, at the time, you have no more time. The time is up at that point.
Exactly. And I watched. It made me so disgusted looking at these. And I said I caught heat from this because I said the NAACP, these black fraternities and sororities, and all these organizations who I believe were taking money from BLM, but they $10.6 billion that nobody can tell me where the money goes. You don't have an office anywhere in the country. Okay, on their board of directors was a convicted terrorist. Okay, and
right.
They took that down. So I said, so just stop and think for a second. Where's the money? Where's the money? $10.6 billion in less than a year? That's unprecedented. And then it goes to Act Blue. And when I tell people this, they look at me like I'm dumb. And then when they get red pill, they get angry. Like, well, I didn't know that. They didn't put that on the news. I said, stop watching CNN. That's the problem.
Right. You're watching false information. You got to get yourself educated in a serious way.
Exactly, brother. So like I said, man, I know you got other callers, man. I've been trying to call you forever. I'm just happy I got through one time. And I just want to say, man, listen, I'm a patriot. Like, you're a patriot. And I'm not giving up the fight. And I don't mind losing friends and family to save my country.
That's right.
So listen, brother, if you ever see me, if I ever see you in the street and you anybody else that have a problem as a civil duty and a patriotic duty, man, I will defend you, brother.
Well, thank you, man. I definitely appreciate that. Appreciate you for your call, too.
Thank you, man. Take the other calls and go finish saving the world, man.
All right, now, thank you.
All right, brother.
All right, great call. Excellent call. All right, and shout out to everybody getting that red pill. I thank y'all. And let's do this here. Let's go. Hold on. Let me get my calls together. Let me go back to where I was. There we go. All right, 317 on the line. What's speaking to?
Hello, 317. Can you hear me?
I heard you well. What's happening? Oh, matter of fact, I'm on speaker.
No, it's normal. Anyway, just wanted to go over a few things that you mentioned. About the vaccines and the masks, they've been lying to us like from day one, not just changing their minds and stuff, but lying about it constantly. Kicking people out of gyms and other places for, not wearing masks, throwing people out of stores. What do you think? It's ridiculous?
Absolutely. And no question about that.
Yep.
I was, from the very beginning, just like, all right, come on. Like when I saw Fauci say that the masks aren't going to help, then he came out and said, well, yeah, he'll still wear a mask. I'm like, okay, this is bogus.
Yeah, this is kind of like the 9/11 thing where they, it was planned in advance. Wait. Call listen to me now. I understand that you can go down that road, but are we going to do that right now? Is that what you're going to do? Not if you don't want me to.
I prefer you not. Because they probably shut the whole stream down. But I do feel you, so don't get it twisted. I understand, but let's not.
Okay, that's fine. What I meant was overreach and overreaction. They just use it as more of an excuse to do more things, to put more restrictions in, and then they don't ever give those freedoms back when they take it away, as history proves.
Just like a TSA, because before 9/11, there wasn't no TSA, right? But now they've been here since, and they're not going away. They're going to be there.
Yeah, and a lot of people in public are just panicking and complying. What I meant about planning was some people are calling it the plandemic instead of pandemic. And there was a doctor that she got arrested by, I think it was the FBI, and the thing literally had no warrant. And it was Dr. Judy, I think it was Mikovic.
Yeah.
And she's saying about how the thing was, this vaccine is going to sterilize people. And now they've been caught not giving it to people and pretending to. and that nurse fainted and stuff. And you played the video. I was watching that last night. But the problem with it is, I mean, she's a very she was actually helping the treatment of AIDS. She made it go from like a deadly disease to very treatable. She's a very well-respected doctor, and she's against it.
Right. Yeah.
I mean that.
Yeah. It's all kind of things like that that's kind of out there, and it's like, okay, well, what's really going on? What's the bigger picture?
All right. Well, she was on the interview with Patrick Bet-David of Valuetainment, and she they took the interview down. Like, I think it was 5 or 8 million views, whatever he said, and they just took the whole thing down. So they posted it up on BitChute, and I always look to see whatever they're censoring, that's what they don't want you to know. Look for that, and you'll find the truth.
That's right.
Yeah. Another thing that people talk about with racial divides and stuff like that, a lot of times, because I'm a white guy, if I talk about this with people, different races, sometimes it gets thrown out, the information gets thrown out, and they just look at it as a different racial perspective. And it really shouldn't be, because then the information goes to waste. But to have a guy like you on who really, you're not just an average black guy, you're better than average, and you're a respectable black gentleman, but you put the truth out there. But being a person of color, a minority, it makes it so that conflict can't really get in the way there, and that the information comes to light. And I just wanted to thank you for that.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I know how it is. Like, if you're a white guy, you talk about race, and you're a racist. Now, what they do for me, they try to say I'm lost and confused, but they can't call me a racist. They can't automatically dismiss what I'm saying because of my race. That's kind of how that goes.
Right, and that's the benefit of having people like you on here. I just wanted to say thank you, man. Happy holidays.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, let's get to some more. Let's go. 612, you in the line. I'm speaking to.
Keeping it real.
All righty. What's happening?
All right. Well, I've got to tell you, thank you very much for your election night coverage. If it weren't for you, I would have lost my mind. I was at work, and I was listening on Bluetooth, and I had a long shift that went to 2 in the morning, and I listened to your clear, logical explanations, and it made me feel so much better. I think I would have lost my job if it weren't for you.
Well, I appreciate you. I'm glad you were there with me. I'm glad I could, help you get through the night. So I thank you for watching.
You definitely did. And then I just want to say this to everybody else that's listening. Do like I do and tell everybody about ABL. Go to your parents' computer and subscribe to his channel so that they can find real news easily. I do that to everybody I know. I send you links everywhere, and I contacted Milos for you, and I said that you should be a spokesperson. So anyway, that's all I got to say. Thanks for listening, and thank you for being you. Have a great night.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Great call. I get a lot of calls like that. People called in because they were watching me during the election. I'm glad y'all watched. I mean, that was a night to remember. That was crazy, a crazy night, for sure. Oh, and back to the whole drunk calling thing. I don't really want to talk to you if you're drunk because it kind of becomes difficult. It's like talking to somebody that's on like some type of obvious drug. It's like you ever be on the street and try to talk to like somebody that's high on drugs visibly. It's just like you're not really gonna. It's hard for you to really get down to the core of what's happening, and also it's kind of embarrassing for the caller because they're on the jank. They're not making sense. I think they're making sense. They're thinking that they're breaking down the theory of relativity. They're talking. They're quoting Socrates, all this, that, and the third. But really, they just sound like a drunk. And I'd rather you not even do that to yourself. So if you've been drinking, please don't call. You could be in the chat and that's fine, but don't call because you don't sound like you think you do. You sound crazy, but you sound like you think you sound like it's like being in the shower singing. You breaking down Whitney Houston and everything. You think you sound fantastic. You're Frank Sinatra in the shower, but really you sound like a dying cat. But I digress. All right, let's go. Let me see. Hold on one second. Okay, 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Riel, it's Sonia. What's up?
Everything's good. Can't complain. How about yourself?
All right, I'm multitasking, and then all of a sudden the phone picked up. All right, cool. So, did you ever get that number to call for your BLM money?
I did not get a number to call. I've not received the email. You know, HR has not contacted me yet. I'm still waiting on it. I don't know when it's going to come in the mail. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, right? I'm thinking they got a lot of things to work on. They're going to use it to narrow the wealth gap. They're going to hand out reparations. They're going to work on crime reform. They're going to eliminate the school debt, maybe do some job programs. What do you think?
I think not. I think they're just going to be collecting more money. These guys are going to be on the mountain somewhere, hanging out, having cocktail parties, driving Ferraris, and just living the life.
But you know what? To be fair, their website says that they've been trying to reach Joe Biden and they haven't gotten a call back. So what if they're trying to do something and he's not getting back to them? But
see, they think the people that are trying to contact Joe Biden aren't the same ones that are really getting the money. Those that are trying to contact Joe Biden are the on the ground foot soldiers. They think that Black Lives Matter is really going to do a lot for the community and they're going to give back and all this and that. But no, they're going to have the nice houses on the mountain, driving Ferraris. People on the ground are just trying to scramble and get things together. They're not getting any kind of kickback from the on top.
These are the genuine supporters. They're trying to get actually stuff done on the grassroots level, and this is like probably even above them, right?
Yes, they believe that BLM is legitimate. They think that they're doing the right thing, and it's all about positivity and progressiveness. But no, they're not really awake yet. They're still asleep.
And listen, those videos that you were showing about the people getting the shots and everything, first of all, they're trying too hard. Okay? It's just too much. And then I think you were the one that posted about how they weren't even getting a shot to begin with, and they were doing the close-ups. I'm even shocked they're even showing that on mainstream media because it didn't look like the man was getting a shot. And
but you know what? The
yeah,
thing,
right.
The thing about that one shot was that was on local news. I don't think they played that on mainstream media. That's why I always tell you guys, watch local because they're going to show you a lot of times what's going on. But mainstream media, they'll leave it alone.
Yeah, for sure. Nobody's talking about any of that stuff that we're seeing because I don't see it anywhere except in the conservative, feeds. And that nurse had fainted, which is another thing people don't know about. At first, I thought, well, don't turn a blind eye to the fact that she got, that she faints after getting the shot. But then I was hearing some people saying some stuff, and I thought, wait a minute, yeah, that's too obvious. People are saying that she probably fainted because she's lying to the people, and her conscience got the best of her.
I mean, that could have been the case, but see, I'm out here like close to that area, and I know people that know her, and they said it wasn't really like that. But my thing is that it was dumb for her to go out there because it's like, okay, like who was a brainiac that put her out there to talk on TV? Because they're saying that she has some kind of conditions where she faints all the time. It's like, why have her go out? Yeah, it's like, why have her go out on TV and talk? I mean, that's just dumb. So, I mean, these people aren't necessarily super smart. So they're not doing this whole thing properly, the whole rollout. That's why the whole thing with the plunger that was not all the way down, and he just did it anyway. It's like, okay, we can see you, sir. There's no brain power there. They can't even do a hoax properly. They're not very smart.
And then as far as the people getting the shot, because I thought there was a wait list for it, at least for the people who want it, particularly the frontliners and all of those people, right? First responders and everything. So why is Congress getting it? I mean, are they more important than anybody else?
That's a really good question. And beyond that, I think that Congress has already had some type of treatment. Like people are probably been on hydroxychloroquine already. Because, I mean, how did Nancy Pelosi not get it? How did Dianne Feinstein, 88 years old, barely wearing the mask, how did she not get it? Like, it was exactly. Really good. Like, how did Trump get it, but Dianne Feinstein didn't? So it doesn't make any sense. Like, I think they already probably had treatment and didn't tell anybody, while at the same time saying, oh, don't go get that because they don't want to give credit to Trump. They probably want to thank Trump probably for saving their lives because they probably went out and got what he said to get from the beginning, but they don't want us to have it.
And then they got two different people making it. So I'm wondering, is this some kind of double-blind study we don't know about? One's a placebo and one's a real vaccine?
Oh, well, it's definitely a study because they're saying it's still experimental. And they're saying that I think one of them you
Mm.
can't sue because it's still experimental. So you're taking an experimental drug. This ain't no vaccine. This is an experiment.
I hope they don't make it mandatory. That's all I'm saying.
Correct. Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
And then the last thing I want to tell you, because I have been staying away from mainstream media programming literally for quite some time, I forgot how they never give it a rest. And I saw, I guess it was a little clip with Kimmel. I don't watch any of those shows, but he was talking about Trump, and I think the headline said that he was squatting, and they were making fun of Pence for taking the vaccine and saying that he should just go somewhere and get vitamin D and bleach. And I thought to myself, wow, you know, if it was a Democrat getting a shot, they would be praising it. But since it's Pence, they're making fun. And I just thought, they don't give up, you know, talking about him nonstop. And it's not even funny when it's not about Trump anyway. And I thought, so what's going to happen if Biden is in there and Kamala for the next 4 years? It's just going to be praise?
Apparently.
Wow. What a snooze fest. That's going to be real boring. All right, well, that's all I got. That's all I got. Have a good night. Thank you, ABL.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Take care. Bye.
All right. Yeah, great call. Excellent call. And thank you all for being here. You guys are the best. Let's get to some more. All right, calling online. I'm speaking to 917. 917, hello. Going once, going twice. All right. To anybody that's new calling, be prepared to answer the phone. If you're trying to watch the stream, you're not going to catch it because there's a delay between the stream and the call. So please be on your phone ready for the call when I answer. All right, let's try this one more time. 917, hello.
Hello.
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Hi, I'm Brenda.
All right, what's going on?
Am I on the air? Hi, I
Yes.
love you. I think you're fabulous. I'm calling from New York City, and I would like to say to the cop who called earlier, back the blue. I'm a conservative. I support the cop.
Well, glad to hear it.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
And I was calling because to comment on the Black Lives Matter making billions of dollars. They could easily give $1 million.
Caller, listen to me now. Turn the speakers off in the background, please.
Oh, I thought I had put it on mute. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, now you're on mute. The Black Lives Matter could give $1 million to every state in the country. They could give it to a black community, to a black college, or all these big corporations who have donated to Black Lives Matter. They could have donated directly to black communities, to black schools to help them. It's very disturbing to me how the mainstream public and not enough people seem to not notice that or not to care that all this money is being made and it's doing nothing for the black community or any Americans.
Right. Yeah. I mean, see, they're not going to look into any of that because they're just going to say Black Lives Matter and have that be it. And when you try to approach them with the actual details of what's going on, about the money that's being raised and where it's going and whatnot, they just dismiss it because they don't even really care, which is pretty sad because it's like, okay, there's billions of dollars literally on a line that you help raise. You don't care where it goes. They don't really care. All they care about is the idea of BLM, not even the actual application of it.
Exactly. And I don't know, how do you counteract that? How do we as a people I try to explain this to people, and my liberal friends shut me down, or my liberal family shut me down. They get offended. I'm Puerto Rican, and even some of my family, if I bring this up, will accuse me of being racist.
I mean, some people aren't open-minded, and it's hard to really get through to them. You know, I just try to put stuff out there. I'm not really trying to engage. You know, I think sometimes when people, they say, you know, how do I talk to my family? Sometimes you can't really talk to your family. Sometimes you're able to just put little things out there and just let it be. It's like, you know, you throw a seed on the ground, it could become a tree, but you're not really going to go over there and keep poking it to see if it's going to grow. Water it every now and again. So you might say something in passing that might kind of like grab them, but you're not going to really engage. You just put it out there and walk away. You say, hey, you know what? BLM raised $10 billion and walk away. Don't say nothing else. They say how much they raised and then that's it. And let them sit with it. Let it like sizzle in the spirit. And then if they ask you a question about it later, then you can start to ask. But when you try to like kind of like bombard them, they're gonna be on the defensive and they want to try to fight, and that's when it becomes a screaming match, and you don't want that.
I agree. And I used to be a liberal. I was brainwashed. I had feminism, which I think feminism is cancer. I had TBS, but I have been red pilled. And you were a big part of my getting red pilled. And I'm so thrilled to be talking to you. I really admire you and I really appreciate you. And so I do understand when I had TBS and when I was a feminist, if someone tried to tell me I would have fought them, I had to come to the conclusion on my own. So I do believe you really can't force anybody. You could just maybe, like you said, give them some facts and then let them see how they accept it. And then I would just want to ask you a question and I'll let you go because I know you probably have other callers. What I want to say to you is another thing I don't like about BLM is that they are pushing this narrative as if race relations are the way they were in the 1960s or the 1950s. I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist, but we have come so far. And instead of building on what we've done, they're pushing this 1950s, 1920s narrative, and a lot of people are falling for it. And what I want to ask you is, don't you think that's offensive to all the real civil rights activists who fought to make things so good today? So many people who really face real racism, not that racism today isn't real, but, more hardcore racism. People really fought hard so that their kids and their grandkids could have a better life. And now they do, and it's as if they did no work at all. I find that really offensive, and I would like to know your opinion on that. And I'll hang up and let you go. And I just want to wish you and your wife and your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Well, thank you for that. Merry Christmas to you. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right. Yeah, that's a good question that she asked about, is it offensive? When, people, like when she said it right, real racism, what's going on right now is not really real racism that the left cries about. They're talking about white supremacy. That's not even no real thing no more. You understand? That's not even the real, like back then it was a real thing. You're talking about lynchings and all that kind of stuff was happening actively. It was really going on, but that's not happening anymore. We've progressed a lot in society in the true progressive way, not in the leftist, but we've kind of progressed in the leftist way too, which is regression. That's a different story. So yeah, the whole thing about racism is very insulting. People that fought and died and sacrificed to get us to a place where we don't have this thing of racism like how it was back then. And people want to say that we have it. And the very ones talk about having racism all the time are very racist themselves. Not all, but a lot of them. They will call you a racist, say that you are engaging in racism, and then they say something racist to you. The white liberals, they talk about me, or you're being, they say something wrong with me, and then I get called every type of. I've never been called any kind of racial slur by anybody on the right, even when I was on the left and actively fighting against the right, like in these little online forums or whatever. And if anybody was to come up to me and talk to some kind of conservative stuff back then, you would get an earful in person, online, or whatever. So, but I never got any kind of racial slurs from the right when I was on the left. But now that I'm on the right, I get every slur in the book from the left. I done heard they done made up stuff. Stupid. They called me a black white supremacist, Clayton Bigsby, Uncle Tom, for the room. What's that guy from the Boondocks? Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks. Everything. And straight N-word, hard ER. White folks now calling me N-word with an ER on it. I never got called that growing up ever in my life, nor when I was on the left. But as an adult and I'm conservative, I get called that now. And they feel like they got the green light. This is the same reason why Joe Biden says, hey, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I mean, it was no point apologizing for that. I don't think he did apologize. For what? Why? Because people that are around him, black folks, will tell him that. So he's like, oh, okay, I got the green light. And then when he screamed on these civil rights, quote unquote, leaders in the Zoom call, nobody said anything. So why would he ever do anything different when he's never getting any kind of kickback, really, any kind of serious kickback from a majority of people? He could do whatever he wants. So yeah, that's how so the whole thing of racism coming from the left is pretty rich. It's hypocritical, it's ironic, and it's just silly overall, and very insulting to those that have come before us. But let me get to some more here. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Somebody asked me what's my opinion on Cotescu. I don't know what that is. You know, we're speaking English. What's going on? You got to break it down for me, boss. 414, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 414, hello. Going once, going twice. All right, 414. I think they hung up. They might got cold feet. You got to get it together. All right, Scott Caller, what's happening?
ABL.
Yes, sir.
Yes, how you doing? How you doing? Thanks for my call. Oh, yeah, I mean, I worked in just to piggyback on the police officer that called earlier, because I work in law enforcement also, and I work in the jail facilities, Rikers Island, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I remember I met this inmate, black guy. He was one of those all black, blackity black person. All about the black man is king, the black woman is queen. So he was trying to educate me, right? So inmate was trying to educate me about how the black man was God. I mean, the black woman was God, the black man was a king. And he was just going all about it, how the white man was the devil, and how, white people are evil, and how the white people enslaved us and all that craziness. So I said, brother, what you in here for? He said, you want to talk about that? I was like, yeah, I want to talk. What you in jail for? I killed somebody.
Wow.
I said, what? He said, I killed somebody. I said, brother, who did you kill? Nah, some gang shit, bro. Like, I killed somebody. Some nigga was trying to mess with me.
Black
da,
dude.
da, da, da. And I said, was the guy black? Yes. So I said, wait a minute. You're telling me all about how the white man is this. The white man is this. The white man is that. And you're in jail for killing a black person. And that's the mentality of go back to Black Lives Matter, right? That's the same mentality they have, right? And I compare the Black Lives Matter to our no offense to black women, but I compare the Black Lives Matter movement towards the black woman who date thugs, right? The one who knows that this guy is selling drugs to his own people. He knows that this guy have committed crime. He knows that this guy's a thug. He knows that this guy won't actually do anything, raise the child properly, and then she still go and date this guy. That's the same thing with the Black Lives Matter movement. This is why they support people that are criminals, right? Literally guy going for a knife, literally guy going shooting a gun, literally guy that actually have gone to prison for killing somebody or raping somebody or holding a gun to somebody's stomach, and you're still gonna say, you know what? That guy we need to march and support and everything and have a golden casket for this guy.
Yes, and then had different funerals, different cities.
Exactly. That's the same. That's why they have on their website, and they don't hide it. They have it on their website that they support transsexualism. Okay, no offense to transsexualism. Okay, if you guys believe that, you guys believe that. Okay, they support homosexuality, they support feminism, but the black man and the black families, they said they don't have that on their website. They say screw you guys, and I'm gonna go a little bit deeper within the Black Lives Matter movement, because I know a lot of people talk about how the Black Lives Matter is not doing anything good for black people. Matter of fact, didn't someone went on CNN, I forgot his name, and he said, what about black children? And the CNN person was like, that's not what Black Lives Matter is about. You know what I'm talking about?
Nah, I've not seen that.
Yeah, what's his name? The guy that does the American Idol, whatever. I forgot his name.
Simon Cowell?
No, not Simon
Cowell.
Oh, Randy. The black guy that does that's on American Idol.
Come on, dog. That guy, Randy.
I don't remember his name. Yeah. People don't talk about this, but do you know that Black Lives Matter, the founders of Black Lives Matter, the 3 females, do you know that they practice witchcraft?
Oh yeah, I saw one of them do it. Like it was this whole big ceremony. It was pretty gross.
Yes, they actually practice a witchcraft called Ifa or Ifa, if you guys don't, if you want to say it that way. But they practice witchcraft, which is a voodoo, African voodoo, where they practice this to supposedly summon spells on police officers or summon spells on people that's trying to stop movements, and it's all trash, but this is what they practice. And you have people that are Christians. Christians are supporting Black Lives Matter, saying, you know what, they're for the black people. No, they're not. And they've proven that they're not for the black people, but they actually practice witchcraft. Terry Crews, someone said it.
Terry Crews, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he went on CNN. He went on CNN and he was saying, what was he saying again? He was saying, oh, what about black children? What about the black on black crime? And the guy looked at Terry Crews and said, that's not what Black Lives Matter is about.
So he on TV looked dead in his eye and say, hey, that's not about Black Lives Matter. It's like, so Black Lives not about Black Lives? What are we talking about then? Yeah. I did see that. I think that was you speaking of Don Lemon. That was crazy.
Yes, you got it. Yeah. They literally said in front of Terry Crews, in front of every black person's face. And it's so sad when I see black men walking around with a Black Lives Matter shirt on wearing. I'm like, you don't even know that they support your destruction, brother. They support your destruction. They hate your guts. Matter of fact, the founders for Black Lives Matter hate black man's gut, black family's gut. They hate them. Actually, aren't there lesbians or something like that, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah. I think there are 2 lesbians that started it.
Yes, I would recommend for, if anyone wants to read more about this, because I see people in your comment section saying witchcraft, really? Yeah, guys, look up Dean W. Arnold. He's actually a former FBI, and he did a research into Black Lives Matter. They actually practice witchcraft, and Christians are following this foolishness. Black people are following this foolishness. They are about the destruction of. Matter of fact, black men should be angry at Black Lives Matter. They should be highly upset, especially the working class black man, the black man who actually take care of his family. You guys should hate Black Lives Matter. They should despise them. It's the worst thing that has ever happened to black people. Let me say this one thing before I go. Black Lives Matter has also devalued the meaning of what a true protest is. They've devalued that meaning because they're protesting for the wrong reasons. They're protesting for criminals. So when people are actually protesting for something that's actually real, like the stimulus check that they bullshit us on, other meaning talked about the election stuff. They've devalued protests. So when people actually go out there and actually start protesting for the real deal, now they're gonna look at Black Lives Matter and saying, what about the looting and rioting that they were doing? These guys probably going to do the same thing, right? So anyways, AB, thank you so much for taking my call, brother. Bye.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. All right, great call. Now, I'm going to show you guys some of the witchcraft that I think is witchcraft. This person I'm going to put on the screen, this is Patrice Cullors, I think her name is. Patrisse. Patrice Cullors, Cullors. Now, this is her. This is one of the BLM founders right here. Now, she's not naked. She has some kind of bodysuit, so this ain't this ain't that. I'm not showing you nudity right here. She has on a bodysuit, and these are like some type of wings, talking about the wings represent transformation. What are you transforming into? Like, what is this all about? I'm seeing like clothes, and it's just really weird. So, I mean, if we are just a normal person, if we're just a normal organization, like, all right, you get a regular 501c3 or whatever it is. I'm not sure what they are, but are you going to see the CEO dressed like this? Is that what you're going to see? I mean, I don't think you're really going to see that too much. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. All right. Looks like witchcraft to me, but you guys can be the judge better than I can. Okay. And I'm gonna show you something else. Speaking about the inmates talking all this, blackity black stuff. It reminded me of In Living Color. That's why I showed the image when he was talking of In Living Color. As Damon Wayans, when he played the inmate Oswald Bates. I'm gonna play a little bit of that in case you guys are kind of young, you've not seen it before, or you're just not seen it in general. I'm gonna play about a second or two of it so I don't get strikes on the channel.
First of all,
okay, hold on. Matter of fact, let me see. Let me show the desktop. There we go.
we must internalize the flatulation of the matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux.
That right there, that's penitentiary talk. If you know anybody that's been to the penitentiary, and then they become Muslim, they get the kufi and all this and that on their head. That's how they talk, and that's and say, "Oh, my brother, all this and that." Why you ain't here? I killed some dude. I killed some food, some black man on the road for $1. That's how it be.
Of my venereal infection. Now, if I may retain my liquids here for one moment, I'd like to continue the redundance of my quote-unquote intestinal tract. See, because to preclude on the issue of world domination would only circumcise the
See? Okay, so if you want to see more of that, the penitentiary talk, look up In Living Color Oswald Bates or In Living Color penitentiary talk, prison talk, and you'll find them. It's a whole sketch. It's a whole sketch that you can find from that, which is nothing short of hilarious. Okay, and I know guys like that right now in my real life. Today, I know guys like that. But shout out to them. Some guys I know that came from the penitentiary and got smart. They're real smart. Some guys, I don't know. It's just a little different. All right, let's go. 423, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Thank you. Is this ABL?
Yes, it is. Who am I speaking to?
Anthony Brown Longer. My name's Jim.
All right, Jim.
I thank you. I listen to you all the time and appreciate you so much, more than you know. Never called in before. But I live in the vicinity of the same area where that nurse had that fainting spell, as you do. And what's interesting to know to me is I know two people that are in their 70s that live near me, and they're old, they're alone, they're independent, but nobody has told them iota nothing about how they would get a vaccine. So if the nurses get it, and the doctors get it, and the people in the nursing home get it, what about two old people living alone that mind their own business? How's anybody talking to them? Because they don't know nothing about it. And I just wondered about the shut-ins and people like that. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, it's weird.
That's a real good question because not everybody is like right close to downtown or East Brainerd or whatever. They might kind of live off a little bit, and you don't really see them too much. They're not in a nursing home. So what about them? I mean, is it going to be a door-to-door campaign? Are they going to go and ask people? That's a really good question. I don't really know. I feel like a lot of this stuff is kind of just for show. They're going to go to nursing homes and they're going to go on television and get the nurses, and then they can say, "Oh, well, we're doing X, Y, and Z." But then, okay, where's the follow-up for the greater population? That's a really good question. I don't really know what they're going to do about that.
Yeah, it wondered because when this first broke out, I used to go to the store, and if they needed anything, I said, "Hey, I'm going by Publix. I'll get you something," and would bring them. When we were short of paper goods and all that. But I still see them every day out there, and say wave at them, but they're afraid to go out. I just feel for them, and I don't think the governor or anybody around here is really. I just think there's a lot of people getting lost in the line on this, and there's something odd about the communication on it. That's all. Something's wrong. Something's haywire about this, because I see people every day that are old and feeble that need to get in there and get it. I guess if you ain't in a nursing home, or you're not an invalid, or you're not special, you're not going to get it. Yeah, that's all. That's all my comments were, Anthony, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for the call.
You have a good night and Merry Christmas.
Same to you, man. Merry Christmas. You know, that's a good point. But then again, the opposite side is maybe they don't need it. Maybe they shouldn't get it. You see, so maybe it's a good thing. If it's an actual thing that works, maybe they need to have better communication. If it's not, which it might not be, it's still, like I said, trial phase. Maybe if they say maybe it's best they just live life as normal and don't get it. So, you know, that's pretty much how that goes. All right. But thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. All righty. Skype caller, who am I speaking to? If you're talking, I cannot hear you at all. All right. So I don't know what's going on. I have to hang up. Sorry. So let's go 231 in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up?
And it's not too much. What's happening?
Nothing. Hey, man, I want to ask you one thing about Trump.
All righty.
He is my favorite, most best president we've obviously ever had. Now, why in the absolute hell do we have all these multimedia? Everybody's so brainwashed onto how everybody should live. Why did we get that way? What makes everybody feel that way, that we need to listen to the way that the multimedia think?
Well, I mean, I think that it's been like that for a long time. People been watching the news for a long time. They've become conditioned to just believe pretty much whatever the news tells them. So then when the news goes on this whole campaign of being anti-Trump, Trump's a racist, Trump's this, Trump's that, then they believe it. Whereas before there was never such a thing said. Trump was just a guy that was real popular, a celebrity, and people liked him. So it's just, it's brainwashing from the media.
Right. If you look up anything that says Biden versus Trump racism, you will see who is in the lead of racism. Biden. He's got number one in my book, if you ask me. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a white-skinned guy, and I have a hell of a lot of black-skinned friends. And I don't look at the skin color. Why do people do that? I think it's Democrat.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where a lot of the judgment comes from, where a lot of the race based things come from is the left, for sure.
Right. And I don't know what to say about that, ABL, man. The only thing I say is I thank you for doing that. Doing what you do.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Man, hey, Trump 2020.
There you go.
Don't give up. Don't give up and don't give in.
All right, man.
Thank you, ABL.
Thank you.
All right, good night, bro.
All right, shout out to the caller. And thank you all for calling. You guys are the best audience on the internet, but I got to go wrap it on up, put the bow on the top. I'll be back live again on Wednesday, same time, same place. Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time to 11 p.m. Eastern time. And then Saturday, same time. That will be 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. It won't be Christmas disruption because that Wednesday is December 23rd. So that's not Christmas Eve. And Saturday is the 26th, which is after Christmas. So it's all good. I'll still be here like normal on those days. And the same thing with next week because the 30th is Wednesday, so that's not New Year's Eve. And then the 2nd is on a Saturday, so that's not New Year's Day. So it's all good. All right. And you guys are the best. Shout out to all the mods for doing what you do, for keeping them trolls in line. We got Rapper 10,000, thank you. Killer Sushi, thank you. Of course, I got Tanae in here. Shout out to Tanae Logan, my wife, of course. She's in here doing her thing. And shout out to everybody that's, helping to keep the chat in check and the trolls in line. I got super chats on deck. I'm going to read those, and then I'll wrap it on up. Let me see. Let me go back to where I was. Okay. All right. Celeste says, Did you see where the anti-vaxxer activist was found dead in California? I did see that. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I don't know what happened. Hopefully, it wasn't like an attack because they're anti-vaccine. Hopefully, that wasn't the case. Shout out to Wolfgang who says, if my parents died from COVID, well, they lived a good life. If public health actually cared, they would ask for herd immunity for the autoimmune. Yeah, my uncle died this year at 88 years old. It was not from the virus. It's because he's 88 years old. They said somebody was like 95 years old and died from the virus. It's like, really? 95 years old and died from the virus? Okay. Right. My oldest grandparent is 84. You see, like, I have no other grandparents. My last grandparent is 84. You can't live forever, basically is what I'm saying. What they say, and I'm not saying that if you're elderly, your life is worthless. Don't get that twisted. I'm just saying you can't live forever. They say that the average age of the virus death is 78. What's the average age of death in the United States in general? The average age of death is 78 in the United States. So you're right there. At life expectancy is the age. So it's like, all right. And then they're saying that that other deaths have gone down this year. So they're talking about, it's this big crisis. Is it? If we're below what the normal everyday deaths would be in the U.S. on a day-to-day basis from last year and the year before that and the year before that, is it a crisis? Not really sure. All right. And like I said before, protect yourself. You know what the risks are. Make sure you're straight. But, I mean, is it what they're saying? I don't really know about that. Bearbait says, I did the math. That $10 billion equals about 180 for each black American. Pay it out and call it reparations so we can all move past this. There you go. $180 is funny. Shout out to other, and you know what? Reparations, if that happened, it would never be that'd only be the beginning. That's why the left don't want to talk about it, because you'd never be able to satisfy. There's no purpose in paying reparations because it wouldn't be the end. It'd just be a drop in the bucket. That's why they're not going to entertain it. They're going to say, we're going to do a study, which means basically we're not going to do anything. Same thing they did with Ice Cube. We got the Black Plan for America reparations. Oh, no, let's do that after the election. And if you've noticed, we're past the election and Joe Biden allegedly won. Has Cube been contacted again? Have they called him back? Or have I seen guys like Cedric Richmond scream on Cube talking about, oh, well, we didn't say that, you a liar. The same Cedric Richmond that got screamed on by Joe Biden didn't say a word. So you want to call and bark on Ice Cube, your fellow black brother, blackity black, ain't that right, Cedric Richmond? But when the white man want to scream on you, it's fine. You don't say a word, keep your mouth shut. Oh, okay, got it. Say no more. But a guy like him, Cedric Richmond, will say that, oh, the white man this, the white man that, white supremacy this, white supremacy that. When the white man screams on you, you say nothing. When the black man is saying what the white man did to him, you want to defend the white man. So I digress. Thank you to Martin who says the fist emoji. Thank you to Jay Karen for the super chat. Thank you to Richard Smith for the coffee super chat or the tea super chat. Thank you to Wolfgang who says, if I'm fat, I should have to pay for 2 seats on the airplane. And if being black means a double vote, Obama should get 1.5 votes. What say you, ABL? How about no? Wolfgang says, screw Medicare for all, national health care. Instead, inject cash into rare healthcare needs such as disabilities. Normies can use job-provided care. Wolfgang also says, glory to Hong Kong, down with the CCP. Robert says, Anthony does a fantastic job and is very well spoken. I look at the talking heads on YouTube, on TV, and I think Anthony can hold his own against anyone. I love to see Anthony on the Candace Owens podcast. I love to go. Y'all talk Candace, hey, get me on the podcast. I love to do it whenever she's ready. Shout out to Jamie who says, I just wanted you to know you make my weeks. Thank you so much for all you do. Hey, thank you for your very kind words and your donation. Shout out to Jaguar. Let me go back to where I was. Shout out to Jaguar who says, Jaguar Hellcat, at the risk of sounding overly conspiratorial, what are your thoughts on the federal criminal justice agencies? Are they constitutional or are they part of the reset? That's kind of a deep question. I don't really know. Like, that's kind of it's a deep and broad question, so I don't really know how to answer it. I think there's some things that should be federally illegal. You understand, like breaking into the like basic murder, breaking into the country. Some things that are universally wrong, they should be illegal on a federal level. So it's not about a state issue. But I think most things should be left to the states. But some things it should be universally illegal in the country. It shouldn't be a state issue that you can really decide on. And I feel like abortion should be in that same category, but that might be kind of a tall hill to climb. But I digress. Thank you to Mandatory Carry, who says Iran created the coronavirus to frame China. I doubt it. It could happen, though. Thank you to Devin for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Wolfgang, who says, your ABL, you going to set up a Discord for it? I have a Discord. I have to get into it. I don't really know the access and all of that still. And the first vaccine recipient was months ago in phase 3 or 1 or whatever, obviously. He also says, I say that Obama was set a precedent for non-native born citizens to become president. People voted for him in 2008 and 2012. So I think Melania can run. He also says, solve the issue of political difference with friends by avoiding them, speaking with strangers, and waiting for things to clear up, pick up later. And that nurse fainting, yeah, I'm in line to get the vaccine now because they were trying to make vaccine look good, but then I think about optics. Yeah. I try to make it look good, but having her go out there and get it, and she's a nurse, and she got the vaccine, this, that, and the third. She goes out there and speaks very well. All of a sudden, you come tumbling down. It does not look very good. Thank you to Butt versus Windshield, who says, what did you think of the fight for the soul of Seattle? I've not watched that yet. I thought about that as soon as I got in here. I've not watched it yet, but I am going to watch it for sure. Okay, I'm building a new PC tomorrow. I'm building a new PC. And just to flex right quick, I'm building a PC tomorrow, so I may have it on my phone while I'm building a new PC. Okay, now all I'm missing is a nice graphics card. I got my RX 580 in there for my card right now because you gotta have a card with an AMD anyway. But I'm trying to get one of them new cards, but that'll work. But this right here, this is gonna make it sing. So when I'm producing videos and all that kind of good stuff, I can get stuff done and, render almost immediately. So I'll be watching that while I'm doing that. Let me see. Bearbait says, brainwash liberals matter to the elites. Greatness 81 says, how's Ruby Freeman doing? Who was that? Ruby Freeman? Who was that? I feel like I should know that person. Let me look it up right quick. I have no idea who that is. I feel like I should know who that is, but I don't know who that is. Oh, you talking about the poll worker in Georgia? I have no idea, boss. I don't know, man. That was crazy. The whole thing where they were, they had the votes up on the table. I don't know what's going on, man. That's crazy. I never knew her name until I just saw it right there. And you know what? I used to build for people. That's part of my thing I used to do back in the day. I used to build rigs. I used to also repair computers. Yeah. Back in the day, like when you still had CD drives, I would go fix it. Like if you wanted a DVD drive, if you were trying to burn DVDs, I would go buy a DVD drive and install it for you. Yeah. So if I didn't get into this, I might be doing something more like that because to me, that's easy. And no more GPUs right now because they're limited supply. The scalpers are getting them. The Bitcoin miners are getting them. It's impossible. I'm on a waiting list right now on EVGA. Hopefully I might get one. And then it costs $1 million too on top of that. Let me see. All right. Marcus says, hey, ABL, I'm black conservative and most of my family are Democrats. I'm just wondering, do you have any advice how to break this cycle? I mean, I get the question a lot. And what I tell people about speaking to family, don't try to force anything because when you try to force it and try to like get them in a conversation and try to corner them and you try to be aggressive, they're going to automatically retract because they feel like they're being attacked and they have to attack you. And now you got a problem with them where there may not have been one before. Now you got a problem because they feel like you're trying to attack them and trying to embarrass them or try to, be too aggressive. So what I would do is just leave like little seeds, plant little seeds here and there. And just like, for example, like I was saying to the caller earlier, speaking about Black Lives Matter, and BLM got $10 billion, and don't say nothing else. Don't give your commentary. Just say it like when they're around so they can hear it. Don't even say it to them. It's just like if you're in the house, right? You coming in the house, it's Thanksgiving, or you just coming to visit your mama or something like that, family around. And matter of fact, I might play it on my phone. You could play me saying Black Lives Matter got $10 billion. Where's your cut? Or something like that. Don't confront them on it. Don't say anything to them about it. Just leave it right there. Little facts here and there. And then when they're ready, they might come to you and have a conversation. If they come to you and ask you about it, then you can talk and have a conversation. But don't let it be a gotcha moment. Don't let it be that. Don't let it be a sparring match. Let it just be a conversation, a peaceful conversation. And then if they keep coming back, just keep talking. And before you know it, you might red pill somebody. That's probably a good way to do it. Now, if you guys in the chat know more than I do, then let them know in the comments. That's probably the best way to do it. Let them come to you. If you go to them, it might be an instant retraction because they feel like they're being attacked. And now they got their wall up and they want to fight. And you don't want that to happen. Passive aggressive, well, the thing is, you can be aggressive and that's fine, but you don't get nowhere. So are you trying to get results or are you trying to be cool? Like me, if I got a problem with you, if I got an issue with you, I'm going to be 100% aggressive if I want to fight. You got to understand what the results are going to be. If I'm aggressive and I'm right here, then I know I got to fight you. That's it. Now, if I'm not trying to fight and you my friend, my loved one, I hit you with the passiveness to make you come to me with your guard down. Are we trying to get results or are we trying to be Mr. Tough Guy? Because you can do that. You can fight your family. You can fight your cousin every day. You can go to the cookout and fight all the time if you want to. But if you want to get people on your side and get people to join you and red pill some people, be less direct. Let me see. Okay. Wolfgang says, my last living grandma is 91 years old. The whole reason they want to protect their parents' elderly is because they want to live forever. Rachel, thank you for that. Keep it up emoji. Thank you to Bear Bait who says, ABL, what Ryzen is that? I have a 1600 AMD, better than Intel. This is a Ryzen 9 3950X. Top of the line, almost. I'm not quite at the Ryzen 5. The new chips, the new Ryzens, or a Threadripper. I don't need all that. That's a little bit too much. I wanted to get a Ryzen 5, but you can't get those. Those are totally unavailable. By the time they get available, it'll be the next thing that's going to come out. So it's like, ain't no point in waiting. Just go ahead and get it now, And I think I could use the AM4 chipset for a while, so I'll be good if I need to upgrade later. All right, and Deep in the Rabbit Hole says, just got here. You covered Trump's tweet calling all patriots to come to the protest at D.C. on January 6th. Falls Church, here you coming back to VA on the 6th. Maybe. I did see that. I'm going to look into it and see what's going on. All right. And thank you, Spike T. Spike T says Trump did not allow lockdowns. He allowed states and cities to govern. Correct. Talk to your governor, not Trump. And you know what? I like how Trump is not for this big government, because Trump could be this federal guy, everything from the federal. Nah, the states have the power to be able to govern. I don't like big government. I may not like what my state does if I live in the bad state, but that's up to my state to be able to tighten up. If I'm living in California, then I know where I'm living at. I need to live in a better state, or we need to try to organize and fix where you live. That's it. That's all you can do. Fix where you live or go to a better place. That's what a lot of the immigrants did when they came here from different parts of the world. They could stay and fix their place or leave and go to a better place. That's it. That's your choices. That's all you can do. And what you don't want is for the federal government to have all this kind of control. We might want Trump to just rule and do whatever, but the same thing can be done on the other side when he leaves, because it's only 2 terms. So you get the next guy in there, could be a Democrat, and then he flips the script and uses that same federal power to put things on us that we don't really want. All right, so that's all I got for tonight. Thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best. I'm building my PC tomorrow. Can't wait. I'm gonna watch that Soul for Seattle clip, the video from Como, the documentary. And if you guys have not seen the first one called Seattle is Dying, it's a very good watch. It's about Seattle and the policies that have gotten it to where it is right now, the drugs and the lack of police, all kind of. It focuses on that. That kind of gives you a picture of what's happening right now on the left coast. And if you've not really been to Seattle, LA, it'll totally shock you. Totally shock you. When I saw it, I was shocked. And I've seen a little bit of everything in this world. I was totally shocked when I saw that. So watch that. And I think this one I'm going to watch now, the Soul of Seattle, the Fight for Soul of Seattle, is going to be kind of the sequel. So I can't wait. All right. So that is all I got. Thank you all for being here. I'll be back live again this Wednesday and Saturday, because it won't be Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So it's fine. It'll be the 23rd and 26th. Perfect. So Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, holidays, whatever you celebrate, but definitely Merry Christmas. And I'll be back again live on Wednesday. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.